in 82, someone asked me to DJ at a house party. So I asked my parents, they was like, yeah, you can go, but you gotta be home by a certain time. And I did the house party. When I did the girls' house party, they came up and gave me $20 afterwards. And I said, what'd you give me $20 for? She's like, I'm paying you. You DJ at my party. What? I did not know you got paid to DJ. I didn't know that. He said, how much you sell your tapes for? I said, $5. He said, you sell this nickel bag and you sell this $5. Sell this tape, you'll have $10. And I said, man, I don't think I want to do that. He looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, what? Threw my tape on the ground and said, he said, man, get out of here, man. You the only one trying to sell something positive. But Emory was the one who was like, nah, that's the positive one. You know, he just kept saying, you the positive, you the positive, you the positive one. And it just stuck to him. I'm like, yeah, I'm the positive one. Like,
that's fire.
But at first, I was just mad, you know what I mean? But I give Emory credit on that. Like midway in the track, I put some scratching in it. So Jay's rapping, right? And then he just said, Randy, I don't know what he talks fast. He said something about Randy put a scratch in it, he told me to mix.
He freestyled it in there like that? That's fire.
I swear to you, y'all, he had never heard that beat before. I just played it for him. He was just rapping, and when the scratch, just about the time the scratch came in, he said, Randy, he told me to scratch. Basically, he told me to scratch, and the scratch went in. I in my bedroom, I just went crazy. I was like, oh my God. You can say, man, listen, hey, I'm letting y'all know. They say they rolling, right? They rolling, y'all rolling?
Yeah.
Mic check.
Hey, y'all, if you're watching this podcast, I want you to know they got DJ Randy. They know I'm short. They got me sitting in this king, like I'm a king or something.
We forgot the stool, man.
My feet can't even touch the ground, man. I'm up here swinging my feet. Like crazy.
I ain't got the camera on it, so you'll be all right.
We forgot the stool, yo.
Go get one of your DJ crates or something like that. That'll work for you.
Stack of records.
Yeah, get your DJ crate. You know what I mean?
All you need is about 12 records stacked on top of it.
No, I'm swinging for real. I'm trying to test the floor.
We do that here. Yeah, we pause.
No, you pause.
That's crazy.
You and Shane
pause.
I'm swinging for Jesus. There ain't no pause over here.
Swinging for Jesus. I'll still pause that too. I don't care. I'll pause that too. I don't care.
Swinging for Jesus. Okay. All right.
I like that way that sound though. Anyway, man, welcome to another episode, Art of Opinion Podcast, man. Let's do the intro, man. Let's get the intro.
Welcome to another episode of the Art of Opinion Podcast. I am Relic.
I'm DJ Randy P.
Oh, he's not supposed to. Come on, man. You got to introduce him. We get killed for our introductions sometimes.
He's Shane today. All right, we got to take it over. Take it over.
All right, I tell you what. This is how we going to do it. Welcome to another episode of Art of Opinion Podcast. I'm Relic. That's Dre. That's Chris. This right here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you introduce it.
Let Dre. I'm
gonna let you introduce.
No, let him introduce it.
We gonna pass it over here.
His resume.
What's up, Chris?
It's crazy.
All right. Well, then. All right. If you don't want to introduce yourself,
I introduce myself.
Okay. All right. Cool.
What's up, everybody? I'm DJ Randy P, the positive one, aka the gold champion,
The legend. Don't leave that out.
Legendary. We are legend.
Let's start that off with this. What do legendary? What did that mean? Why do you say I'm a legend?
You're a legend because you've been doing it from the beginning. You stayed true to it. And you never folded. You stayed yourself throughout the whole process. You know what I'm saying?
All right, when I'm a legend then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're a legend.
I think we asked that question on here before. Me, I define a legend as somebody who longevity also plays a role. The many lives you've touched, the many emotions you evoked in people, it just means the impact that you leave on the world or you leave on a certain demographic or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Your impact makes you a legend, whether it be negative or positive.
He got DJ Clue.
Yeah.
He got DJ Clue.
Yeah, he on that type of status. With us, you on that type of status. You know what I mean? With us, you on that type of status. You know what I mean?
I'm going to tell you another reason that I know that you're a legend, because I'm not real familiar. I'm not from here.
Okay.
So, but everybody that I've heard say anything about Randy P, when they speak about you as if you're a legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that's big. Yeah. What people say when you ain't in the room.
That's what I was telling them earlier. Like I've never through my entire time of knowing them or hearing about them, I've never heard one negative thing spoken about them.
Never, bro.
Right.
Ever. You know what I mean? And that's real talk. That's not just glazing, as the young kids say. That's a real talk. You know?
Never.
I've never heard one.
Do you realize how many people you brought together? How many people's lives you changed? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got music with people that we'll never meet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To God be the glory. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just now realizing the impact. When I say just now, let's say the last few years, just after COVID.
Right.
After COVID, I guess God just started dealing with me, showing me my past and showing me who I am and who I am supposed to be within the community or wherever I'm doing. You know, it's a path that God set for me that I didn't even know, you know. So I know we're going to go back and, I share you a little bit about my story, but I've just now realized. But one of the reasons why I'm just now realizing my impact is because the people telling me. I was so much in the moment at the time. Yes, I knew I had fans. Yes, I knew people loved me. But, you know, I didn't always have deep conversations with everybody because I'm doing music and I'm moving around a lot. So you don't really always have deep conversations with people, you know, just dapping up, hey, I love you, da-da-da. But now, you know, throughout these last few years, I'm able to have deeper conversations with people and I'm able to understand the impact. But I already knew that I was worth something. I even when I got married 12 years ago, I told my wife, you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. You can't not just go to something or just. I'm not saying you will go to every single thing people invite you to, but people invite you for a reason. You got to know your worth, or people calling you for a reason, or people want you to pray for them for a reason, or whatever the case may be. You know, you have to know your worth. So.
Yeah.
I want to go back to this part. What got you inspired to become a DJ? That's what I want to know from the beginning, like all the way back.
Very
like,
good question.
What inspired you to become?
Very good question. So
DJ?
Dre and y'all, and listen. First of all, I come from a musical family, so big shout out to my mother, Debbie Potter, my father, Randolph Potter, and all my uncles and everybody in my family do music. My grandfather was an orchestra leader, and my uncles played in a funk band in the 60s, 70s. So music was always in my bones. My mother, she loved music. And so when I was born and everything, I just loved music. And my mom, she had every record that come out soon every weekend. She's getting records. So I just listened to her records, and I just loved it. I had an aunt, her name was Myra. Big shout out to my aunt Myra. They always kept the funk records, the disco records. I just was into the records, and I like to dance a little bit. Everybody thinking Michael Jackson. So everybody dancing and, you know, just getting it on the dance floor.
Right.
And so I just grew up in a musical family, so that's all I knew was music. You know, that was my comfort. That was my comfort thing. That I took comfort in music, and it brought me joy. So just fast forward to 1980. The summer of 1980, my next door neighbor. I was living in Trap at the time. Well, I was living in Ivytown. So those who know about Trap, it's another little small town called Ivytown. So we was living in Ivytown, and my next door neighbor, she got married. She used to be our babysitter. And we went to the wedding, and I noticed that the music never stopped. I was sitting there, you know, in the reception. I'm like, why couldn't the music stop? Because back in those days, this is 1980, you put the record on, it'll play, and then it stop. The record needle come back over, and start you put a new record on. So I was like, well, how was it that the music never stopped? Now, I'm only 10 years old. I never went to a disco or a club or anything like that. So I'm just used to putting the record on the turntable when it stops. And so I said, yeah, what's going on? So I seen two guys behind this booth. So I said, let me go back here and see what they're doing. And when I looked behind the booth, they had two records with the same record label on it. So I said, oh, they must be put the two records together. I figured it out. And so when we was riding home, I just kept it in my mind. When we was riding home from the reception, I asked my parents, I said, hey, can you get me some record players like these guys got? So let me just say the statement over again. So we was riding home.
That sounds a lot better, though.
We was 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, no, we don't do that. We don't do that here.
Man, I do production, bro. I'm
it's
telling
real
you.
as you can get here, though. Right.
All right,
It's just brother sitting around having a conversation.
While I was riding home, I asked my parents, could they get me turntable? I would call them record players. Excuse me. I call them record players. So I was like, yo, can you get me some record players? These crazy headphones, man. What kind of headphones are these? Okay, I got
comfortable ones. Comfortable.
I just want to sit up crazy.
The comfortable ones.
So I was like, hey, get me. Can y'all get me some record players like that? And then I can't remember to say yes or no. I can't even remember. So the summer goes on, and by that time we had moved to Talbot Village. in Easton.
Right.
So I'm meeting new friends. It's the summer. We're having a good time. And then the day before we were supposed to start school, my dad was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you in your room." I'm like, "What in the world?" So I'm thinking, what have I done? The guy, I'm about to get a beating. I'm about to get, I'm about to get a beating.
Yeah,
We just
you
keep
know
it
what
with
it is.
100.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm
Exactly.
like, I must have did something. So I'm really pussyfooting to go upstairs because I'm not trying to get
Get in trouble.
So when we got upstairs, he had 2 record players laid out for me. I was like, what? He didn't have a mixer, but he had 2 record players and a receiver. And I just went off. I just started blending 2 records together, and I just knew that you're supposed to blend the records together. So fast forward from there, that's how I got introduced to DJing in that sense. So throughout that year, I was in 6th grade in 1981, over in Easton Middle School, and in some kind of way, we didn't really in Easton. They didn't have parties like that for kids and stuff. Not that I was aware of. We just stayed in Talbot Village. We didn't go to no parties or nowhere.
School dances
The farthest I went was to the bowling alley over there in Easton. That's the farthest I went. And so I was like, all right. So I just played. Me and my friends. Big shout out to Sean Lewis. We just stayed and played the turntables in the bedroom. So fast forward, my parents they had a little split, and so we went stay with my grandmother. And she lived in Bellevue near St. Michael's. So we started going to St. Michael's School. So while I was at St. Michael's School, it was a guy there. His name was DJ. They call him DJ Tough. You ever heard of him before? He not too long passed away. R.I.P. DJ Tough.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
But he was big in Ocean City at the Secrets. He was big down there.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Eventually. But at that time, we all kids. I think he was in 9th grade. I was in 7th grade. He was like, yeah, man, Mike Brown gonna be, I DJ with Mike Brown. I'm like, who's Mike Brown? It's like, yeah, that's the best DJ. I'm like, yeah, Mike Brown. So
Mike Brown name come up in everybody's story, man. Mike Brown is in everybody's story.
So I'm like, wow.
No, really?
So,
really? Mike Brown was that guy back in the day.
We're gonna talk about, I definitely want to talk about him.
He was at our show.
Yeah,
he came to the show. Yeah, he was at the live show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in 81. So they came to, he ended up had a party in Bellevue, of all places. They had a party in Bellevue, and Mike Brown was the DJ. I'm like, what? So now I'm able to see DJing, because before that, I've never seen no other DJ except the one that I saw at the wedding reception. So now I see it.
What year was this?
This is 81. This is 81. I was in the 6th grade. And they came to Bellevue, and here's another story too I want to share with y'all before we get to the real good part with move to Cambridge. But at that time, and I'm ashamed to say this, but I'm ashamed that it happened. But I used to steal a lot. I had a sticky finger. I wouldn't steal like crazy stuff. I just go in the store, get me some double mint, get me a sticker bar.
Yeah.
And that's what Easton, I always say, that's what Easton did to me. When I lived in Trap, when I lived in Trap, I didn't do none of that stuff.
I judge people that never stolen in their life. Like, I judge you. So, I question your character. I question your character.
I've never stolen anything.
No, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to bring up your old professions. I'm not going to bring up your old professions, but I'll leave that alone. So you've stolen something in your life. It just might not have been like a material thing.
Go ahead, Brandy.
So I'm going to the party. I said, I'm going to go, and I want to go early. I want to see, I want to see because I'm thinking, I heard about this Mike Brown guy. Ain't no way you DJ with Mike Brown. Just no way. You go to school with us. Like, no. Because I took it that they was grown men, which they were grown men, but I just couldn't believe it. So I went there a little early. So when I went there, they had a crate of records. Somebody left a crate of records outside. I guess they supposed to take the equipment inside. Right. And man, I was so tempted. I lived like 3 houses down. I was like, yo, I think I could get it. I think I can get that and get home, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know what? This is Mike Brown. I never met the guy before. No, like, this is the guy, Mike Brown. I can't take his thing, right? I'm
his
telling
name
you,
brought like a certain level of respect. That's dope. That's dope.
So I in the music world, probably in the regular world too, but definitely as music. So I'm telling you all this for a reason. And so I said, okay. So end up, my parents get back together during that summer. So now they telling us we don't move to Cambridge. What? So if anybody that's living Easton, even at that time, you're not trying to interact with the Cambridge people. It was like, Easton and Cambridge, even at that
rivalry.
time,
They had a serious rivalry.
And I was upset. I was like, we got to move to Cambridge. Man, I was really, really upset about that. I didn't want to go to school. So the day before we were supposed to go to school, I was with my homeboys named Milton Walls. Big shout out to Milton Walls. I'll talk about him again later. Later on.
That's my cousin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he helped me get saved. I'll tell you about it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And so he was decided, we're gonna go to school tomorrow. He's turned to 6th grade. I'm in the 7th grade. I don't want to go to no Cambridge school. Man, I went to Cambridge school, bro. All the little young girls, the honeys, and I like, woo, I like Cambridge. And what I didn't know,
changed the whole spirit.
It changed my whole spirit, man. I ain't gonna lie. And what I liked about it, well, I didn't know at the time, but what happened was they had shut down one of the middle schools in Cambridge. So now everybody's going to one school. So they don't know if I went to one school or the other.
Mm-hmm.
The people from Cambridge Middle, they probably thought I went to Mason's Lane. Mason Lane probably thought I went to Cambridge Middle. But I was a brand new person, never lived there before. Right. So what happened was I was the only kid with turntables. So when I moved there, I would go to Milton House. He lived out the 600 side Greenwood Avenue project over there. And man, we'd sit the speakers outside. First we'd be outside. It start get cold. We sit the speakers outside, and we just play music all Saturday. Just play music. And actually, when I lived in Easton, I used to like to rap on the mic and break dance. Okay. That's what I thought I was gonna be doing, right? But when I moved to Cambridge, they had so many great MCs. Big shout out to Johnny Quest. He still raps a little bit. Jay Quest, Johnny Quest, big shout out to him. Fubi Love, Milton, all them beatboxing. Yo, they was like, I was like, nah, I can't do this. But I had the turntables. And I didn't want nobody to mess up my needles. I was like, if somebody mess up my needle, my mom ain't gonna give me no new needle. Because just for the sake that it's got messed up. So I was like,
It was like gold back then.
Yeah, needles were like gold. So I was like, nah, I'll be the DJ. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up just
for you young kids, the needle is something that you put on a record player
and it plays music.
And it plays the music, and it goes down onto the record to actually play the music.
Now tell them what a record player is.
I mean, they brought record players back out. They got them in Walmart. I got one on the porch.
They have instruction manuals though.
Instruction manuals.
Yeah, we already know what
I still got a record player. Yeah, but.
So I had played in the park, played in the, but at the time I want to make sure I make a note of this. At the time they did have a youth club called the Clubhouse. And everybody couldn't come to the clubhouse. Their parents wouldn't let them go. But even my parents, I used to go when I stayed at Milton House. When I stayed at Milton House, we would go to the clubhouse, which was a real short distance from where he lived at. And we would go there, and Mike Braun and all those guys, the DJ. It was only certain DJs would DJ for the kids, but Mike Braun was one. His crew was called NYCS. Big shout out to Mike Braun. He's the legend. He's the legend.
Yeah. We're gonna have him up here soon.
Yeah, we got to get Mike up here.
Yeah, he's coming up here soon. Yeah, definitely. I talked to him a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? He'll be up here soon.
And he's the legend. So I came under that tree, but I was just a kid. So all the DJs was grown men. I was the only kid in Cambridge at the time with turntables. About a year or two later, people started getting turntables for Christmas. They got that was their Christmas gift because I had been rocking and rolling by then. And so in '82, the very next year, two things happened simultaneously. In '82, someone asked me to DJ at a house party. Oh. And so I asked my parents. They was like, yeah, you can go, but you got to be home by a certain time. And I did the house party. When I did the girls' house party, they came up and gave me $20 afterwards. And I said, what'd you give me $20 for? She's like, I'm paying you. You DJ at my party. What? I did not know you got paid to DJ. I didn't know that. I've been DJing. I've been in Easton in the bedroom, in the park, in Cambridge, all for free. I didn't know you get paid. So that was life changing to me, y'all. And then on top of that, I started selling mixtapes. And
hold on. Let's back up. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to go too fast. It's a lot.
It's the same year.
There's a lot going on there. So tell me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My question was, when you were you say you were DJing in your bedroom and you were DJing at the park and all of that, when did you realize that you were good enough to be able to?
Well, this guy's good.
Good enough.
When did you realize that you were good enough?
I don't think I ever thought I was good enough.
No, not like that. But when did you realize that, you know what, like I'm good at what I'm doing now, and if somebody is
that's a good question.
Able to ask me,
I think the combination of me DJing at a few house parties and seeing the reactions of the people, I think that what made me feel like, hey, That's just something I like to do. And then, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it 100. I would see other DJs that's older than me, and I'm like, I can DJ better than that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I felt at the time as a kid. Like, yo, because I'm a blender. I like to blend music. I like to blend music. So if you couldn't blend it, if you couldn't blend the music, then I'm already think I'm better than you already as a kid. Like you can't even blend music.
Yeah. Question for you: what your first? Now going back to your first time part, your first DJ gig, right? What was the hot shit? What was you spinning at the time to get everybody on the dance floor?
We was playing like I keep Planet Rock keep coming in my mind.
Because I know hip hop didn't really take that. I mean, it was out there, but it wasn't really out there like that. Yeah.
Some of the songs that I remember playing at the clubhouse or some of the places, of course, was anything off of Tommy Boy, Planet Rock, Play It at Your Own Risk. What's the bounce? Some bounce song I can't remember. It had a black label, something bounce. I can't remember that. But these are really, really early hip hop songs, which really it had rapping in it, but it was really geared towards the dancers.
Yeah,
you know. Definitely. And that I was still into dancing at the time.
Used to call it party rock, right?
Yeah, there was really like party. What was the name? It was a lot of songs. You can go look at hip hop from 80 to just say 81 to 83. All those type of songs. I was playing, but I do remember playing.
Had a real
rock.
disco feel to it.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
of course, we had Rapper's Delight, and we had anything off of Sugar Hill. We had Grandmaster Flash came through with with the first 5, Curtis Blow with the breaks, and then he had the Christmas rap. So, at that time, I wasn't just focused on hip hop. I had all the music. So I had R&B music as well as hip hop music. I was just getting music, and my mother was buying me the music at first, so I had to get whatever she she brought.
Whatever she wanted.
That's all I had.
Mom, I need two though.
Yeah. She gonna have you spinning some Bobby Blue Bland up in the party.
That's a whole conversation of its own because how I became an entrepreneur. My mother, when I was in 8th grade in 83, my mom came to me and said, "Look, we in church now, and we ain't gonna buy you no more records." Just like that.
Bro.
I was like, what?
Jeez.
So I had to fend for myself, man. And that's when I really became an entrepreneur. Because now I got to flip. Now, between that and I needed records for my tapes, which we can talk about. You want me to talk about it now?
Right. We can talk about whatever. Yeah.
So in 80, go back to 82. At the same time, I just started this new school. I don't really know nobody like that, but one of the guys I met, his name is Dwayne Taylor. We call him Scales. I had my Walkman. I used to ride the bus and have my Walkman. I got to school, and he was like, "Yeah, what you got? You made that tape for you?" I said, "I made it myself." Nobody really didn't know. Everybody didn't know I had turntables at that time. And as far as DJing, and he was like, "Yeah, can you make me one?" I said, "Yeah, for $1." And right then, that was my first product.
Listen to this
that I sold.
right here.
It was only $1.
Tapes for $1, yo.
So
first mixtape for $1. So that's crazy.
So next thing you know, other kids start asking for mixtapes. So now I really need records because I'm making these mixtapes. But again, my mixtapes early on was everything in it. I would have the New Edition and anything that was hot popping. I can get, especially the 45s. I had a lot of 45s because I didn't have the money really to get 4 albums that much.
What a 45?
Yeah, you got to explain that to some people.
The 7-inch record, which is really just a single.
7 inches, guys.
It's really just a single.
It's what you call an EP now. What most people, it's like the EP version of a record now. A little small joint.
They had one song on one side and one song on the other side.
The A side and the B side.
I do want to give a special shout out to my man Big Jimmy, because during that just say between 81 and 83, we used to go to the skating ring over in Cambridge when it was on the highway. And there was a DJ named Big Jimmy. Man, he used to just kill it. And he was a good DJ. And when we go skating, we trying to, and I was just focused on the DJ. Yeah, I'm there to skate and get girls, but I'm focused on that DJ too. And to me, he really inspired me because I only seen him at the clubhouse and outside, but I never seen nobody like at an establishment. Like again, I'm only 12. I can't go to the club or nothing like that. I don't have none of those experiences. But the skating ring, that was outside. So I'm like, hey, I like what he's doing. And he was mixing a record, which was Candy Girl. He did it, he mixed it like this: Candy Girl, you are my world, you are. I was like, what are they doing? Like, what's that? that's how early I've been DJing, which that's something elementary to do now.
Yeah.
But back in those days, we was like, what is that? Who's that? You know, and same thing with Mike Brown. One time I caught him practicing at the clubhouse before we came in. He was practicing, and he was just going back with the same phrase with the record. And I didn't have 1200 something like that, so I couldn't do a lot of no kind of tricks on. I have record players. I didn't have turntables.
What was your first record player?
It was made by Mac. It was made by GE. General Electric.
Wow.
And it was a regular record player. It wasn't like scratching turntables or nothing like that.
It was a small record player. The record was bigger than the player. I had the kind where the record was bigger.
Remember them joints?
Yeah, it was about this big. I had two of them about this big, but the record was bigger than the thing.
That's crazy.
So it wasn't going to
So
be
it
in
was
a whole
made
bunch
for
of scratching
45
and stuff.
pretty much.
I couldn't do nothing but blend records with that. You know what I mean?
Was people scratching at that time? When did
They
people
was
first start
scratching.
scratching?
Flash,
They were scratching. It was like what they call now. They call it the baby scratch, but they were doing it. But again, we was all about blending. You know, I think that's what really transformed me into be like a party DJ. I'm what they call a party DJ. It was other DJs that came up around the town, but they was more into scratching and all that. I wasn't into that because when I DJ, people dancing. So I can't be doing crazy stuff on the turntable.
Yeah.
People going to dance.
You don't want to mess their rhythm
And
up.
I'm a kid, so you know they're looking at me. I'm short. They're looking at me like, "What's up, short? What you doing, man?" You know, like they finally got to get on the dance floor with the girl they've been trying to court her, you know, flirt with her all night. They on the dance floor. Randy P. I'm not gonna be the one to mess you up with getting your chick. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it rolling. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this: Did you know, for one? And do you remember when Brian, when Big Brian used to DJ? Do you remember that?
Yep.
But
I didn't know.
DJ? No, I didn't know. I didn't know that at all. Yeah.
DJ,
I didn't know
but it
that
was
at
later
all.
on. I think it was like the 90s when I found out he was a DJ.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was 90s?
Yeah, but he might have DJed before that.
Yeah,
but I
remember,
didn't
like-
know he DJed until the
No,
90s.
I didn't know that at all either. I'm gonna ask him about it too.
Yeah,
when I
he
see him.
definitely
Yeah.
DJ.
I'm gonna ask him about it
I
when
got
I
a
see
story
him.
about that
Yeah.
too.
He was nice though.
Yeah,
Was
He DJ'd at the middle school, like when we had the school dances back in the day. Yeah.
And what school was that?
Colonel Richards.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
he went
that the
to-
school for Denton?
He went to middle school a long time ago.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, the Denton is North Carolina.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting older, bro.
Yo, you self-taught?
Yes, self-taught DJ, and I just practice every day.
So at
When I
11
get off the
years
bus, I'm going straight. What's that again?
At 11 years old.
Listen, at 11 years old, when I get home from school, it's all about them turntables. I used to do all my homework in school, so when I get home, I can mix. And I can say that with confidence because when I meet people now, they be like, "Yeah, I met you when you was a kid. Yo, you used to be in that bedroom." Every person who talks about me when I was a kid said when they came to my house, I was in the bedroom. Every single person, and these are people that I didn't know I knew because I might have only met them once or twice. You know, in when I was practicing, I always practice. Even to this day, y'all. Even to this day, I practice every week.
Oh wow!
I get on the turntable. I'm still an active DJ. I do 2 to 4 gigs every day, so I have to practice. And then I'm on the radio. Then I'm doing festivals or whatever. What I'm doing, I gotta be on point.
Before we get into like what you're doing now and things of that nature, when did you know that? I know early on you started making money and you knew you started to have to buy records and stuff, but when did you know that you could turn that into a career?
That's a good question. Thank you for asking me that because I can share something with you. Made about around 89. I just say about 89. I graduated from high school. I do want to talk about the years in between now, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go back somewhere too.
my favorite DJ that I saw at the time was Force One. Y'all know who Force One is?
Yes.
It's a guy over Delaware. He would come to Maryland sometime.
I remember him.
I didn't even know he was from Delaware.
He used
but
to
then,
DJ parties all around.
man,
Yeah,
listen.
yeah. I remember.
Everything.
I remember him. He did.
I seen him one time. We was at the skating ring. They had moved the skating ring in Cambridge to in Cambridge. It was on the highway. Then they moved it in Cambridge. I was probably like 8th grade at this time, and he had just started. He started DJing a year after I did. But he was grown. I wasn't grown. He was grown. So he had the shirt in Vegas. He had the 1200s. And I seen this guy DJ. I was like, oh my God. He could blend so good. Listen, I seen him recently. We was at the same event recently, like let's say 6 years ago. We was at the same event. This guy was blending jazz music. I ain't never seen nobody. You blended. You just blended that, didn't you? He's blending jazz music. He's a good. He can cut and scratch, but he's blend good too. So if you can blend good, that inspired me. So one time this is probably like 89 or something. I was talking to somebody. They said, "Well, he's full time." I said, "What you mean he's full time?" Well, that's all he do. He's full time. He DJ on the weekend. I was like, "What? I can DJ? You mean tell me I can DJ and be full time in it?" I had never heard. All the DJs I knew had a job. They worked on the week. That's the first person I ever heard. Of course, it probably was somebody full time, but I never heard of them. I was kind of confined to Cambridge for a long time. But once I found out that it was someone else that DJ full time, I knew I can do it. It just takes one person to inspire you.
Exactly.
In that case, and he was one of my favorite DJs at the time. So
he was large. Back then,
so
bro.
he was.
I'm trying to think of
large.
it's another one too.
But I just like the way he DJ. It was a lot of large DJs. It was, large, but he had a nice system. But he can actually DJ. So big shout out to my main man, Force One. Big shout
Was
out.
Tavon DJing back then?
Well, I didn't meet Tavon until like early. He might was. Y'all need to get him on the show.
I just seen him at the gym yesterday, I want to say.
Yeah, he need to get him on the show. He got a good story. But I didn't even know anything about Tavon and them at that time. You have to understand, at that time, even by the time I met Tavon, which was like in the 90s, I've DJed a lot. I do want people, if you listen to this podcast, I want y'all to go back and listen to Ron Dude's interview, because a lot of the stuff he said, anything he said about me, that stuff was true. What I loved about what he said, and it's still true this day, he said, if you know anything about Randy P, look, you can go back and listen to the interview.
But you can go and repeat it.
But he said that I like to help people. But there's still here. This is what I want you to understand about my career and how God been shaping my life throughout the years. The story he told about me, about how he actually met me. I came to the party. They were DJing. As soon as I heard him say it, I remembered. I was talking to him one day actually, and he was like, "No, that ain't how you met me." I was telling him some other way I met him. I thought I met him through Emory, and he was like, "No, you met me such and such." And I was like, when he told the story, I'm like, "Yep, that is how I met him."
Must have been some girls involved or something.
He was DJing at a party, and I came to the party. I must have stopped by. It was in Cambridge. Cambridge is it's a party town, and I came to the party. But here's the fact that I want y'all to understand. He was in the 8th grade. I'm only 2 years older than him. I'm in the 10th grade. Even in the 10th grade, I needed help. That's how much I was DJing at house parties.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yo, I need help. Like God has set me on the course to be an entertainer. Of course, I don't know this. I'm just a kid. But in Cambridge is a party town. I don't know how it is now, but at that time, everybody had a house party.
See the Groove City logo.
Everybody had a house party.
See the Groove City logo.
Where?
And so, Groove City,
Yeah,
Groove City. Big shout out to Groove City.
Groove City
made me who
Especially
I am.
old Groove City.
Because
old Groove City.
Shout out to old Groove City.
Because listen, as a DJ, as a person who was becoming popular in DJ, I wasn't the only DJ in Cambridge. I just was very popular, and that was through the mixtapes as well, which I found out later. I didn't even know that, but through the mixtapes. But even at that time in 10th grade, I was doing so many house parties. Whenever my mom would let me do it, I couldn't do everything, but as much as she let me go out, I was out there making those moves. Providing a service to the people. Which I didn't understand. I was providing a service. So that story is real. Those stories he was saying, it just brought back so many memories. And I was like, man. I can't believe that that's how young I was, still getting it like that for us, DJing at a lot of parties. I did a few big things, but it was mainly house parties. I was like the house party king. But you have to think of it this way. I'm pretty much the only kid that's mobile like that. It was a couple other kids that start DJing too, but I just was into. This is all I want to do. I don't want to do no drugs. I don't want to do smoke no weed. I don't want to drink no. I don't want none of that. All I want to do is focus on the music.
One thing that Rondu did say on here when he brought your name up, and it kind of reminded me of it. He was there. I remember he used to have the crates and stuff in the back of that Pinto, just like the same one that Martin had for house party. The same one, the same color and everything. Like everything was the same. I said I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember him pulling up the TNT and that doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I do want to share this testimony. I not too long shared this testimony with somebody. But this is the God honest truth. At that time when that movie came out, when was that? About 89, 88?
That was
89?
about 89. Yeah, 89,
So at
90,
that
somewhere around that time.
I was thank God, I was going to Chesapeake College. I ended up being the president of the Black Student Union. So I said, hey, we're gonna take a trip to DC. At that time, we used to have, I don't know how it is now, but they used to have students come from different cities to come play ball, like
They still
baseball,
do all.
basketball.
Yeah, they still do all.
And
that,
they would house them and everything. So we had a couple guys who lived in Virginia that was going to our school. So when we went to DC that day, we linked up with the Virginia guys, and we having fun. They said, yeah, let's go to the movies. So we goes to the movies, and I'm telling you, man, it was so embarrassing to me. But looking back on it now, it's amazing. Kind of like what Ron Dew said. Somebody must have saw what I was doing, because when they came in the scene where they had the speaker sticking out the
the back of the joint, yeah.
I swear to you, bro.
Yeah.
I swear to you.
That's how yours was.
I never been in that part of Virginia ever. I'm still a young adult, 19 years old. It felt like everyone in the movie theater looked at me and said, "That's Randy P. Randy P." They didn't even know I was there. To these people, I want to talk about the people who I came with.
You talking about the people that didn't know?
These people don't even know me. They was like, "That's Randy P." I'm like, "What the world?"
Wow.
So I'm thinking. So I felt embarrassed at the time. I'm like, literally, like, oh, I felt bad.
I know you
about
ain't
it.
make yourself smaller.
I know you did. I felt smaller than what I really am.
Yeah.
And but the reality of it, I had became so popular that even they knew in Virginia, like, that's Randy. That's what Randy P. I was so known for the kid with the speaker speaking out, because that's the only vehicle I had. I called it my company vehicle. I did have a Pinto. I started off with a Pinto. I had a light blue Pinto, and then I got the Chevette. My mom and dad, they gave me all these cars. The ones everybody know, I actually bought that Chevette, so I'm proud that I bought my own Chevette.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But the first two Chevettes, my parents gave
You said the first two.
The first two. And I used to have that thing packed up. My father, let's go back to when I started. My father, they went to the clubs and stuff. I don't know all that. I don't know nothing about DJing and stuff like that. So he built me these real big speakers. They was 4 feet tall with 2 15s in it. And like, here, think about it. I'm just a kid in the 7th, 8th grade with these big old speakers, and people, the adults is like, who is this kid with all this stuff? But my father, the big shout out to my father, rest in peace, we call him Ronnie Randolph Potter Sr. He blessed me. Yeah. He passed away a few years back. But he really set me up for success. He got me the turntables, got me the amp. We call it the amplifier, the receiver. I had a receiver. I had a receiver. But he set me up, and I was able to, make moves. But one day I was packing up my Chevette. He said, "Man, what you doing?" He said, "No, I'm gonna show you how to pack this thing." So I guess I wasn't utilizing every little inch of the Chevette, I guess, at the time. So he let me know, hey, no, you can get more speakers up in this joint. You get more crates around in here. So I was able to get more.
Lay it across the seat.
So what people saw on the outside, that was really my father telling me, "Lo, you could put a lot more stuff in that Chevette than what you think you can put in there." And that's why when I pulled up,
lay the seat down.
When I pulled up, I'm laughing about it now, but I always had the speakers.
I think that's so dope.
My whole career.
I think that's so dope because a lot of people. You hear about a lot of early stories about people that get into like music and stuff like that. You see it in the movies and everything like that, where their parents try to tell them to get a regular job because that ain't going to pay no money and stuff like that. That ain't going to pay the bills. That ain't going to you can't make a living out of that. Your parents actually supported you. Your mom bought you records. Your dad built you speakers.
And my dad was a carpenter.
They gave you cars. You know what I mean?
Big shout out to my dad too. And I say this sometimes too when I'm speaking to kids. Exactly what you're saying. My father saw that I had a gift in music, and he let me be. My father was a carpenter. He used to build houses. Anything we need, he would build it from scratch. He never made me do what he did. It just empowered me in what I like to do.
Dope. Right.
So I have to give him big shout outs to that because sometimes, like you said, sometimes parents do try to get you to go in there. Oh, no, you're going to be a doctor like me or you're going to do this. But he just he let me be who I was and just encouraged me and empowered me in that. Everything, all these things, these stories you hear about Randy P, man, I was young. I was a young person doing all these things, So I want to talk about the tapes in a few minutes, but because I don't want to miss that part. I don't want to get too far.
Yeah, that's what that's what my next question is about to be. About the tapes. Like when you started doing, putting your tapes and mixtapes and stuff like that out, and you were doing freestyle tapes too, right?
So yeah, thank you for saying that. Ask me that question. So y'all, I want y'all to understand, I didn't do freestyle stuff till like, I would say 90, 89, 90.
So you was what? At that point,
I was probably 20, 19, 20, 19,
Wait,
20.
rappers freestyling over beats and everything like that?
Let's go back.
Okay.
Now, I can't speak for no area in the whole country or the world, but back at that time, I was the only one making mixtapes.
Right.
And I made tapes. I was selling tapes all through the whole, not only Eastern Shore, Annapolis, Baltimore, Delaware. Wasn't nobody making mixtapes. When I say making mixtapes, I'm not saying DJs didn't make their own tape. I was making them to sell. You know what I mean? That's key right there. So the whole years, I was making mixtapes. And I only sold at school at first when I first started. I only started at school. But what happened was when I was 15 years old, didn't have my license yet, I was riding with my parents. And I guess, the street pharmacy game started to get a little popular in Cambridge. Yeah. And so I was riding home I live a block away from the project. So I was riding home with my parents, and I seen some guys on the corner. And I seen one guy who was my age. He was like a year younger than me. I'm like, what in the world is he doing? I said, this guy must be selling, he must be selling something. And I was like, wow. So in my mind, I said, I wonder what would happen if I start selling tapes on the corner instead of selling them in school. Now, this is
different type of dope.
This is a 15-year-old kid saying, what in the world? And so I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So I used to go down the street, walk down there, and what's up, y'all? Y'all want to buy a tape? They used to be like, get back, shorty. Soon they see me, it's a block. I could take a path to get to where it was. The corner that I used to sell at was called Greenwood Avenue and Camellia Street, which they call it Gloria Richards Street now.
Yeah.
But that was my corner.
Shout out to Gloria Richards.
Yeah, that was my main corner that I sold from. But they used to be down there. They used to be like, get back, shorty, get back. No, get back, shorty. They did not want me on that corner. And I'm steady persistent. I'm like, I'm going to sell a tape. So at first, y'all, people wasn't really buying tapes on the corner for me like that. Right. I was just persistent, right? I was like, yo, I think I could do it, you know what I mean? But I didn't think I had juice. That's another story. That's another part of this, that I had to understand my own self as I look at it from today's lens. At the time, I didn't think I had juice because I'm not smart enough to know when I sell Dre a tape that his brother, his sister, everybody else in the family here, cousins, I don't know that. I'm thinking I'm just selling him a tape. I'm thinking I'm just selling you a tape. So in my mind, I'm not realizing that my name is spreading around the town. Who is this kid that keep making these tapes? That's what they're saying. The people tell me about it now. So I was like, okay, so me trying to sell on the street corner, I didn't realize they already knew who I was anyway. You know what I mean? So eventually people start buying tapes from me. And so one particular day, I went out there to sell some tapes, some guys on the corner. And then one of the guys grabbed the tape. He said, give me that tape. He said, and I still to this day don't know who this guy is, but it changed my life, y'all. I said, give me this tape. He said, he reached in his pocket, he grabbed out a nickel bag of weed. He said, how much you sell your tapes for? I said, $5. He said, you sell this nickel bag and you sell this $5. Sell this tape, you'll have $10. And I said, man, I don't think I want to do that. He looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, what? Threw my tape on the ground. He said, man, get out of here, man. You the only one trying to sell something positive. Get out of here. You know
That's crazy.
And I went in defeat. Like, I was so mad, y'all. I can't even explain to you. That's one thing I remember.
You was mad?
Yes, I remember being so mad. Because I was serious. I was like, yo, I thought I was serious. Like, I'm making
felt
money.
Discouraged at the time?
I wasn't discouraged about what I was doing. I was just mad that they couldn't see what I was trying to do.
Yeah. I need the video.
That's what I was mad about. Like, I need the video. I'm really trying to sell. I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
So when I went home, I don't know if it was the next tape. Maybe it probably was the next tape. I put on set on the this is how it all started. I got on the tape and I said, no drugs being sold because I ain't dirty. DJ Randy P, the positive one, kicking it live for the 1980s, y'all, like this. And when I put the tape out, man, the tape just blew up. Because I had never did an introduction.
Talked on there or
I never
like
did
that?
it. I can't remember if I ever talked on the tape. I can't remember that. But I had never did an introduction. I probably used to just start off with the music. You know what I mean? I had never did an introduction. This was in '85. I was like, nah. I'm gonna make my voice heard. But what I didn't know that I had juice in the community, and that all the kids and everybody got the tape. So now everybody walking up to me in school talking about no drugs being sold, no, and it was like almost like making fun of it. I was like, okay,
that's fire,
you know.
Man. Wait, hold on, I gotta give a round of applause for that.
So that's how I got started. But
and y'all ain't gonna get this history nowhere else, man. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't get this nowhere else.
That's a dope story.
That's why I give a shout out to Emory, because Emory was the one that said, yo, that's the positive one. Like, I only said it one time. See, now we know about branding and logos and slogans and stuff like that.
You was on it early.
I just said it. I just said it.
Back in the
I
day.
wasn't saying it to be no slogan or nothing. I just was mad. Like, I was so mad. I just said it. It just came out my mouth. But Emory was the one who was like, nah, that's the positive one. You know, he just kept saying, you the positive, you the positive, you the positive one. And it just stuck to him. I'm like, yeah, I'm the positive one. Like,
that's fire.
But at first, I was just mad, you know what I mean? But I give Emory credit on that, because he was like, yo, nah, you the positive one, you the you know, and just like, he just like kept saying it, you know, and he had juice in the community too. He was younger than me, but he still had juice. He still had juice.
Still do.
And so I was like, all right. So I just ran with that, and that kind of shaped my life, because every time I wanted to do something crazy, I had this thing, okay, you're supposed to be the positive one, Randy. Let's get this thing together. Because, you know, I have thoughts and imaginations too. You know, things, somebody mess with me, I want to get them back.
So you saying you was about to run up on him. That's what you saying.
Not on him, yeah. Not that guy. He might
have been a little bit bigger than him at the time.
I still don't even know who that guy was. That guy I need to get that guy a check, man.
Let's just say that guy might not be with us anymore.
I want to go back
to his damn attitude.
Hopefully he is, but you know what I mean, he might not be with us anymore.
Not with that attitude.
No. So I want to go back to that. You know, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, have you ever had a regular 9-to-5 job?
I had about maybe 4 jobs.
He worked at the TNT store. I remember that.
I worked at TNT. That wasn't a job to me.
Yeah, that was.
I worked at TNT, y'all. That's a record store.
I remember he used to be in there with the DJ equipment set up and everything.
Mixing everything. Big shout out to Tanya.
He had the joint before Chumpy had it.
Big shout out to Tanya. She's still my friend to this day.
So TNT, where I come from, is exclusive.
But listen,
pretty much. It's the same joint that Chumpy had. Is the same joint.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How I got in TNT? That was Emory too. Emory was working in TNT, and he was on home arrest, and he called me up. He's like, "Yo, man, I'm about to leave off of home arrest. You want to come up here and take this job?" I was like, "Absolutely." We're in the record store. That's like nothing. So Emory was the one. Emory. You know, I talk about Emory. I don't talk about him all the time in my interviews, but y'all from this group, East Shore.
Right.
This guy, man, he really was a blessing to me.
We had a few people come up here and talk about him as well.
Yeah, I heard that. But I'm a person who actually could say something really positive, you know, even to something recently he did for me. You know, this guy has always been in my corner, and I've always been in his corner, and we just been close like that. But he said, hey, you know, he let me get that position that he had.
That's dope.
And that's how I ended up working in the record store. But other than that,
dope,
I worked at Bonanza. I worked at the hospital for like 6 months in TNT. That's it. Then my last job I had was Delmarva Community Service. I have 4 jobs. I did work at Airpax Electronics for 3 months in the summertime, in between while I was in college. So I worked at, you know, if you want to call that a job, but I worked, and because I have a degree in electronics, so I worked in the field of electronics for 3 months, and I went back to college. So if you want to call that a job, but I only had 4 jobs.
So the reason I was asking you that is because you have such an entrepreneurial spirit and mindset that oftentimes people who have that type of mindset, 9-to-5 jobs don't work out. It drives you crazy the entire time that you're there.
Mine is driving me crazy right now.
When I got older, after I got in church, then it started bothering me. But at that time, that's what you think you got to do, because until I heard the Force One was full time, I just thought you're supposed to get a job. My dad had a job, my mom had a job. No one taught me about entrepreneurship. I got a degree in electronics, but I should have got a degree in business. I should have went to college for business. Right. That's because I was doing business at that time before I graduated from high school. You know, but no one really took me, you know, in that area, like what we do for kids now. You know, I help them explore what their gifts is, and you know, I don't blame my parents for that, because it all worked out. Because I learned electronics, now that's why I'm a strategist now. That's where I get that from, basically solving problems. I love to solve problems, so that's come from me taking calculus and taking all those tough math classes and the science classes I had to take to graduate with electronics. So it all worked out for my favor.
Let me ask you a question. When did you make the transition into your religion or your way of life, and then into entrepreneurship and helping like what you do now?
Well,
talk a little bit about that.
That's kind of a later question.
All right.
Yo, he going. Okay, he want to go back. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll get to that.
That's a later.
All he want to talk
that.
about is hip hop anyway. That's all he care about.
That's okay.
But it's a lot of big pieces that's being left out right now.
Okay,
You know what I'm
all
saying? We scratching the surface.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
God,
But
Jesus.
so when I asked you about the freestyles and
Oh yeah. Let me go
my
back.
bad.
Let me go back to
No, it's all
that.
good. Yeah.
Let me go back to
My
that.
bad.
you have so a lot of people might not know, but the real ones do. You know what I mean? You knew Jay-Z before he was Jay-Z.
Well, he was Jay-Z.
He was always.
He was always Jay-Z. I do have a bunch of Jay-Z stories.
What I want to know is how did y'all meet, and then how did y'all start to talk about music?
How we start doing music.
Right.
All right, so again, I'm the house party king. I'm house partying. I'm killing it.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you how I even actually met Jay-Z. I didn't even meet Jay-Z through Emory. I actually met Jay-Z on my own. I was selling mixtapes. This is like I think 88 or 89.
On the corner? You was on the corner?
I went out to the nursery. Anybody from Cambridge know what I'm talking about. I went out to the nursery to sell mixtape that day, and I had like a couple tapes left. So I said, I was just walking back home basically, and I seen this tall guy. Now let me go back. During this time, 88, 89, it was a little invasion of some people from out of town that came through.
Yeah, a lot of New Yorkers
and
came
stuff.
down.
All of them came.
Let's say from 88 to 89, let's say 88 to 90, I mean, Cambridge, you couldn't even come through the Greenwood project. Right? You had to know somebody
That's
to come up in
facts.
that joint.
It's still kind of like that now.
Because I used to sell tapes out there, and I
like being that boy.
you know, and so I was out doing my runs selling tapes, and I seen this tall guy, like, okay. I seen him from afar. He had a big dookie gold chain on. I like, oh, who that? So I knew in my mind, I knew what
He
it
had to be
was.
somebody with that chain.
Yeah. So I said, okay. So I went up to him, talking to him. I said, yeah, man, I'm out here. I'm trying to let the kids know you ain't got to sell drugs. You can look at me. I'm selling these tapes. I said, yeah, let me get one though. So I'm giving him a little sales pitch. So he grabs the tape. He said, oh, you Randy P? He said, man, he pointed like this. He said, man, we got all your tapes. You Randy P? I said,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
man. So I'm thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, he know me. I just try to get a sale. To be honest, I'm just trying to get a sale. And so he said, yeah, I'm going to get one. Man, he pulls out a knot of money. I'm telling you, bro. I probably, even at that time, I don't think I ever seen that much money and somebody one in their hand. I like, what no? So I said to myself, yeah, I knew he was a bar. I knew he was a bar.
Whole time you on the tape telling people not to sell drugs, and you selling it to somebody that sells drugs.
Yeah, don't sell drugs. Yeah, whatever.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
too.
man.
Yes.
Don't just say no. Just say no. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said that. Because that's so true what you're saying. Because at that time, y'all, let's say 90% of my customers
Was hustling.
Wow.
I only sold in school.
They the
in
only
the
ones
street
that could
corner.
afford your tapes.
School, and that's all. And even I sold way more on the corner than I did in school. And it got to the point where I knew you was hustling just because you bought a tape. Because at that time, the everyday average person didn't get a tape. The girls and the regular people, no one bought a tape. Only the hustlers. Thank you for saying that word. Only the hustlers and only the kids in school. It was no in between. No. And again, I'm young. I don't know my name is spreading. I don't know this. I don't know this.
Right.
I don't know what's really going on the popularity scene. I just know everybody want to buy a tape, and I'm going to get them. I'm going to sell them with the tape. And that's all I knew. So I met him that way. I don't know if I saw him anymore after that. I can't remember. But one time I was DJing at a house party, and again, like I said earlier, I'm a party type DJ. Keep the music flowing, people dancing. Back in those days,
Back when people used to dance in the party.
from like 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
They don't dance in the party like that no more. Yeah.
No, they don't.
So I'm keeping the party rolling. So here come my boy Twin, my homeboy Twin. He said, "Yo, man, you should let my boy Jay rap." I'm like, who? And I looked at him, I'm like, that guy don't rap. Like, I'd sell him mixtapes.
He a hustler.
I'm like, he don't rap. Nah,
rap.
man, you should let him rap. Man, he kept asking me. I'm like, no, man, I can't mess up I'm DJing at the party right now. I ain't gonna let nobody rap when I'm DJing at the party. That ain't gonna happen. So he just asked me too many times. I said, yeah, man, he can rap. I must have put
ahead,
instrumental or something on it. dude, I swear to y'all now.
He went crazy in there,
The
didn't he?
dude rapped so good. I was like, what? I had never heard nobody rap like that. I can't remember if he was rapping fast. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, he
but
used to
it
rap
was-
fast earlier.
Wherever it was, he said, it touched me. So I said, hey, can you meet me on my house tomorrow? I got a little studio. He said, yeah. And he came on my house the very next day. And we just start working on music.
Did he have a chain on when he came over there?
I can't remember if he had a chain on. but
Could've made too much noise in the mic.
But I do want to say this. I do
Nigga,
want
your
to say
chain
this.
keep banging into the microphone, man. What the fuck is going
I'm
on?
gonna tell you. I do want to say this. All right, I moved to Cambridge in '81. By this time, I'm Groove City. That's
Right.
it. Nothing. I'm
Forget
not
Easton.
from Easton. I'm Groove. I'm what they call it. I'm Groove City out by that time. I'm really sold on Groove City. So I made this beat or something, and I said, man, I should put this on my tape. And at the time, I had a beat machine. So what I would do is I say my little no drill thing, motto, and then I would let the beat go for 8 bars. I make my own beat, let it go for 8 bars, and then I put on a real song. But I used to say, hey, if you can rap, buy my tape, you can rap over, not in the studio with me, but just rap at home, you know what I mean? So I said, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this on my tape, you know what I mean? And then I said, I can't put no guy from New York on my tape and ain't never give a chance for the people from Cambridge. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I just recently told my friend this. I called my boy, big shout out to my man, William Wright. He used to be one of my best friends, a guy named William Wright. And I said, man, hey, man, come, I want you to come through, man. I want you to rap on my tape. He didn't know why, but I let him.
Could he rap?
I said,
Could he rap?
He could rap. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah. We called him Freeze. He could rap. And that's why I called him, because I know he could rap. And I said, hey, man, I'm going to put this on my tape, because at the time I said I refused to put a New York guy on my tape before I put a
Shout out to
Cambridge guy
that,
on
man.
it.
Shout out to
I
that.
said,
Shout out
so
to
my
that.
boy Freeze, big shout out to Freeze, whether he knew it or not, he was the what they call it, the first person. He was
The trial run.
The trial
He was the
run.
trial run.
So I can't remember how good that tape sold or whatever, but I'm sure it probably did good. And so then the next tape I put out, I had Jay-Z on it.
Was anybody else doing it at the time?
That's what. Listen, I want to.
That's crazy because I'm thinking about that. Was anybody else doing it at the time?
Son,
We talking about in the 80s?
When I
80s,
said
this was
legend,
like 89.
I'm serious, yo.
Oh, that's
So I
crazy.
want to share with you something else too. That I did. God brought it to my attention like a few years ago. Back in those days, I used to have 2 record players. I didn't have 1,200 stuff like that, but I had one tape deck. So I would make everybody a whole tape over. So if you bought a tape from me, I basically made a new tape to every person I sold a tape to.
So that you bring,
Right?
I'll bring
So
my
did-
tape back to you
right,
and
so
you'll redo it?
No. What I'm saying,
okay.
when I put a new tape out, it was really that I did it over and over, physically did it over and over.
okay,
again.
yeah.
You had to
about
then.
Yeah,
about
back then,
83,
yeah.
about 83, my aunt was like, she went to Morgan.
Ooh, that was-
she went to Morgan and she came home one day. She said, hey, somebody took that tape you gave me. Can you get me another one? I said, yeah, what I had on it. She said, you don't know what I had on it? She said, you ain't got the master? I said, the master, what's that? She said, you make the tape over and over. I said, yeah, I make the tape. And I was taking pride
From
in it.
scratch
I was
mixtape
like,
is
yeah, I made
crazy,
him a
yo.
tape. I made
That's
him.
crazy,
So
yo.
I was making them over from
So
scratch.
would
So
each
she
tape
took-
be like a little bit different? Because
just a little
I
bit
can imagine
just
you
a little
couldn't
bit
make
different,
each one
just
yet.
a little bit different, right?
But you had the
'Cause
same
I might even
playlist
got a
pretty
new
much.
record or something.
Yeah.
I got the same playlist. So she was like, no, you supposed to make a master and duplicate it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know nothing about duplicating, right? This is like 83. So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know to do that. So I didn't have a duplicator. So what I got another cassette deck. So I got 2. So now I got 2 cassette decks. So down, Cool It Down comes out. Cool It Down from New Edition. You go
Edition.
find out what year they came out.
84, 85.
I think it was
like
83.
84,
I think it
yeah.
was 83, 84.
84.
83.
You better slow it down.
Find out when Cool It came
Watch
out. So when Cool It came
edit
out,
that out.
I love that song.
You're
I was
gonna
like,
lose control.
so now I'm like, okay, I gotta put this on my tape, right? But I only had one. I had the album version. So I was like, oh man, I can't mix it with nothing. So I said, let me put Cool It Down on the tape and play the tape first and then mix it with
while the other one recording.
Yeah, and while the other
man.
record. So now when I'm overdubbing, I'm basically overdub. So I said, oh, this works. I could actually have one record.
84.
I can make a tape. This is 84.
84.
Now this is me thinking that a 14-year-old kid saying I could make a tape and play it back and go back over it. So this is what I want y'all to understand. When I realized I can do that, I start putting ad libs in between the mixes. So now, so let me share this with you. One day I went back. We had a shed where we lived. We lived across the street. We lived on Leonard's Lane. It was only 2 houses where we lived at, but we had a shed. My mom and dad, somebody had old records in there, and I found them one day, and they had like I can't tell you the name of it, but this Mario Van Peebles, his first black movie he put out. I ain't gonna say the name of it, but you go find out Mario Van Peebles, his first album.
What was
he put
his
out.
Talking about the
movie?
black exploitation movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a cuss word. It's a cuss word.
Yeah.
But anyway, I felt that record and a couple records. They had James Brown. They had Mom's Mabley. They had a couple. They had like breakbeats. Really, they was really breakbeat records. So I'm listening to the soundtrack of this movie, and the guy said, "I know you're gonna dig this." I said, "What?"
Oh, that's a drop right there.
I said, "What?"
That's a drop.
Oh, snap. So I start putting it in every time I would make the tape, and every time I would blend the next song in, I would add like ad libs in it. So it would seem like I'm DJing on 3 turntables. Yes, fast forward to 2025. If you hear a mix from anybody, even myself now, you're going to hear drops in between, DJ Randy P, this and that, any kind of drop you could think of, you hear it now when you hear a mix. I was doing that in 84.
That's crazy.
Just because I didn't have a record.
That's crazy.
Just because I didn't have 2 of the same record. And anybody who has my tapes from them early years, they can tell you, I was putting ad libs. Every time it was the song transition to the next song, I would put, that's why you hear how y'all feel like that, the Run DMC.
You probably
Run
was the
DMC.
first person to ever do
I was
that.
just
I've been
drops.
thinking about that because I don't
doing
remember.
shit
drops
for real.
then, yo.
I wasn't into hip hop back in the 80s. You know what I mean? But
I had no choice.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I wasn't in hip hop back in the 80s, but I don't remember when any rap that I heard. I didn't know anything about a mixtape in DC.
Every tape I put out, I had those drops in. From that day forth, from 84, anybody got a tape, they can tell you. So I was basically doing what we doing now as DJs. We doing it now on the computer and stuff. But I didn't have a duplicator, so I'm overdubbing. You know what I mean? Eventually, I got a 4-track and all that. So yes, I don't want to say that divvy off the Jay-Z thing, but so now he's on my mixtape, right? And now, I think it might have sold good, or I don't know if it sold good. Or I can't remember at this time, but I'm sure it did. Because it was something different. And then so that's how that's how I ended up working with him, just off the mixtape thing, And then eventually I started letting other rappers go on it. But Jay-Z, he was actually the first person who was supposed to be on the tape. He just didn't technically. We made the song, but I just wasn't going to let nobody get out. I was like, I got to get Groove
I
City.
wish somebody still had that tape. I would love to hear it.
I wish I had the tape.
I wish somebody still had that tape.
I can tell you one thing I do remember about that particular song was that this goes to his art, what we know of Jay-Z now.
That joint would be worth a lot right now, too, if you had it.
He came to the
I ain't
house.
gonna lie.
In the beat, only one part, I swear to y'all, only one part of that beat did I put a scratch in it. I put it in the beat. I had an SB1200. Big shout out to my main man, Trevor Holland. Trevor Holland, he had an SB12, and he used to let me use it. And then I had another homeboy, big shout out to Mix. He bought an SB1200.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland. But I think I had an SB12 at the time. I don't think I had the SB1200 at the time. But big shout out to Mix. And but anyway, I think I had the SB12. So in the track, like midway in the track, I put some scratching in it. So Jay's rapping, right? And then he just said, Randy, I don't know what he talks fast. He said something about Randy put a scratch in it. He told me to mix.
He freestyled
And
it in there like that? Oh, that's fire.
I
Yeah.
swear to you, y'all, he had never heard that beat before. I just played it for him. He was just rapping. And when the scratch, just about the time the scratch came in, he said, Randy, he told me to scratch. Basically, he told me to scratch. And the scratch went in. I in my bedroom, I just went crazy. I like, oh my God. Like, I didn't even tell you that was in there. How did you know that? Like, I was like, oh my, this guy's incredible.
Man.
Like,
That's fire.
I was like, yo, he's incredible, yo.
That's
Like
fire.
this dude, man. One time I was DJing, it's another Jay-Z story. One time I was DJing in the high school. Anybody that's, like I said, if you look at this, if you hear this video, I want y'all to go back and look at Ron Dude's video. And because Ron Dude, he was the first person that got me into high school. But one of the things he didn't say was when I finally did DJ at the high school, they hadn't had, when I was in high school, we had Big Jimmy, so we had a DJ. But some kind of way they got off of DJing and had bands come in. So that's probably why they was asking Ronnie, can he DJ? Because they wanted to go back to DJs again. So I would guess I was the first DJ to be in high school for a few years, you know, because they had bands. So it was so big to do. And I just asked my sister this last week. I said, I told her I was coming on your show. And I said, hey, you know, what are some of your memorable moments of you as my sister? She said, well, one time you played at the high school. She said, everybody in the mama was in there. I said, oh my God. I said, that was the first time. It was the gym was so packed. It was a whole bunch of it was people that wasn't in school.
God no.
That's what I'm saying.
Allegedly, we can't say that. Don't say that. We
All
can't
the
say
hustlers, and you name it. Anybody that wasn't in school was in this. That's how popular.
Allegedly.
That's how popular I had become in the world. And this was only 1990, 89 and I think 90. This is how popular I become. That people from towns, other towns, because people still hit me now from other towns. I had a guy that hit me from Easton saying, yeah, I was in a thing that time with Jay-Z rap. So that's what I'm going to get to. So the first time, I think they were just there, you know. But second time I did the homecoming for them, I said, man, I had went to Baltimore and got some break beats. And I had this little thing. Anybody that rode with me to go to Baltimore get some records, you had to open up my records. So, but when I get home, I want to put it right on the turntable. So that thing was to open up the records from the time to get it from Easton to Easton. I had moved to Easton by the time, moved back to Easton. So when I got home, I said, man, I got these break beats. So I'm DJing at the high school, and I said, I'm going to record it. And once I recorded it, I don't know, some kind of way I said, somebody must have asked me, or I might have told Jay to get on the mic. I'm telling you, bro, when I used to DJ high school, it'll be like 30 feet, let's say 20 or 30 feet from me to where the people start dancing. So just say, if I was on the wall, just say, before you get to the foul line is where the people start dancing, like, you know, in bounds.
Right.
And but I started DJing, I started putting some break beats on. Jay started rapping, bro. I swear to you, the whole school was in front of me. I looked up, all I could see was people. I was like, what? So I put my head down, killed it. I recorded, and Ronnie said, let me get that tape. Ronnie got the tape, right? And so later on, I heard Ronnie playing the tape. I like, this is amazing. I did, because I'm in the moment. I'm DJing.
Yeah, you didn't even know what you was putting out at the time.
I'm like, man, Ronnie, I gotta get that tape back. And man, I don't got. That's the tape I want. I want that tape. I know who I gave it to. I ended up letting some girls use it because I was like, this is incredible, ain't it? They were like, yeah, because I had DJ at a house party, and I said, y'all can listen to the tape, but I want my tape back. And man, I never got my tape back, man.
Listen, anybody out there got any Randy P tapes?
Oh my God!
Feel free to dub one for me and bring it.
Hey,
Let's see if you got. You know what I mean? That tape could be worth a lot of money.
What's his name? Will Murray? His real name?
Yeah, William.
Stinky?
Yeah, Stinky.
AKA Stinky.
Yes, big shout out to Stinky. But
Yes,
he got that tape with Ron doing them rapping.
He probably got
still
all
got it.
He probably got all of them.
Yeah, he got to let us get that so we can play it.
I got that song. I play it for y'all. I played it.
Oh, you got it with you? Oh yeah, we want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Someone sent it to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they was like, yo, I got that Jay-Z.
I want to hear that.
Now you ain't got that. They're like, yeah, they sent it to me. Man.
Oh no, I want to hear that right now. Yeah. Before we get into everything else.
Listen, man, it's got a lot of cussing and stuff in it. So
that's all right. I can bleep it out. You don't want to hear it.
The only reason that it's not a
I
lot
don't
of
want y'all
cussing.
to play. I don't want y'all to play it on the show.
No, we good. Because the only reason that it's
show.
not a lot of cussing today is because you here. Out of respect for you.
Usually we be going
Because
crazy in here. Yeah.
Typically, there's a lot of cussing on the show.
Not
We
a
slept
lot.
a couple
It don't be
times.
a
You
lot.
probably just seen
It don't
here.
be a lot. It don't be a lot.
To piggyback on just my whole career, just what you just said there, I want y'all to understand how this is very interesting even to me. Even as a kid, people would cuss around me, but they wouldn't smoke no weed. Or now, if I go to my house and they smoke a weed, I literally would see the blunts lined up, and I know they want to smoke. and people be sitting over there like, you know, I'd be like, yo, you good? You all right?
You might have seen a couple in here.
You gotta get up out here, man.
We
So I can
can't
smoke.
smoke till Randy P leave. We can't smoke till Randy P leave. They wouldn't let the people. They treated me. Listen, that's why I'm glad I'm on this show, and I really want to share some of my story. I really want to give big shout outs to Cambridge, man, because Cambridge, they really helped and shaped me. And I want y'all to know that if you have a kid that's interested in music, science, or wherever your kid is interested in, as a community, y'all should rally around that kid because that's what they did for me in Cambridge. They didn't say, Randy P, you got to do this, you got to do that. They let me be me. They let me be who I was, and they helped and shaped me. They supported me as far as buying mixtapes, as far as DJing at parties or whatever. They support me in that way. So I want to give special shout out to Dr. Lane. Dr. Lane was my mentor. Y'all know who Dr. Lane is?
No.
It's a guy named Dr. Lane from
Doc
Cambridge.
Lane. I remember Doc Lane. Yeah, I know
he
Doc
was like
Lane,
my
yeah.
mentor.
He was a DJ too, yeah.
He had all kinds of
Yeah.
records, man. He used to let me come over his house every weekend and make tapes. Like, big shout out to Dr. Him. Big shout out to my sister Teresa, my brother Brian Jones, and one of my main homeboys. I don't talk to him that much now, but his name is JB. I don't know if y'all know James Brown. We'll call him JB. He was older than us, but if we get in trouble and stuff, listen, man, JB was the only one to let us get. My mom would let us get out the house. If we was JB, but we were JB though. My parents, they were strict, man. They was like, yo, of course they got in church, and they figured like we got to raise our kids a different way, but they didn't stop me for DJing. They just was like had some parameters around me. But I give credit to Cambridge because I was the type of kid, I listened to the fans. If you say I'm scratching too much, I fall back on it. If you say I'm doing this, if you like this record, I just always worked off the fans. You know what I mean? Like what the fans wanted. With the mixtapes, I was giving them what I had. Now this is how I used to get my records. I want to share this with y'all too. I was so young, I didn't have my license, so I used to catch the bus. I did. When I did get my license, I was scared to drive to Baltimore, of course. So I'm young.
Everybody was scared to cross that big bridge.
I said, wake up early in the morning, take my sister to work on Saturday, and she worked at Roy Rogers, and I would catch the bus to Baltimore.
Roy Rogers, man.
I would go to Baltimore, and I was just a kid, still in high school, and there was like 4 record stores all in one block. So I hit every record store. So this is how I really became really, really popular. People didn't know it at the time, but at the time I was buying records, they didn't care about R&B and rap at the time. All they cared about was club music, right? So all the DJs were like, oh, that's a shorty right from Maryland for the Eastern Shore. And they used to give me I would come home with about like an inch worth of records free. But they'll all be promotionals. They don't be, I rarely bought records, only like the club music. I would come home with just like an inch worth of promotionals. So I'll come home, put it on a tape. So now people are hearing stuff on my tape way before it comes out, before you can get the cassette tape or the 45 or the album in the record store. It ain't like it is now. So I was basically getting it leaked. I was basically getting it as the record labels was putting out there.
Was people also paying you to like
samples?
Was people also paying you to like put your stuff on their tape?
No, none of that was invented at that time.
Okay.
I would get paid. It wasn't no payola.
I already said because you could have made some money back then.
And I also want to give a shout out to Level 4 because it was a group out of Easton called Level 4. Big shout out to everybody from Level 4, especially my main man, Daryl C. That was me and Daryl C. and his brother Dwayne. We was cool when I lived in Easton. So now I moved to Cambridge. So now I'm starting to be pro Cambridge. But anytime my mom would come to Easton, I'm like, let me ride with you. So one day I rode with her and I went over to Daryl and Dwayne's house. And Dwayne was like, yo, man, we just put a record out. Like, you put a record out? And I was like, what? Because, I only known him from when I lived in Easton.
Right.
He's just a year older than me. So I'm like, you put a year or two? I'm like, you put a record out? What? So he gave me the record. And it was like had a burgundy imprint. And that's when I knew it was real. Like, yo, you can actually put a record out. At that time, I never thought to put a record out, but I knew music business was real.
They had a deal?
They had a deal.
Because back then you had to have a deal. You couldn't put nothing out independently.
It was independent. They was independent.
You could be independent back then on the records?
They was independent. It might have been a record deal with an independent record label.
Okay.
You might need to get Level 4 on here to tell their story.
Because we didn't have no distribution or nothing like. We didn't have no ways of doing it.
They had distribution because that record was out.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and they had
just had to know where to
it
go.
was several different companies. I think one was named Trumpet, and I can't remember the other name.
Were they based on the shore?
They was right from here not here. They were right from Easton. And when I seen that Level 4 put a record out, like I like, whoa. Now I'm doing tapes, which is a little bit different, but like it gave me hope, like in this music business, like, yo, maybe I can do something in music. You know what I mean? Like Daryl put a record, I just it wasn't the Level 4 thing. I was just caught up on Daryl put a record out. Like I just Daryl, like that's my friend put a record out. So big shout out to Daryl C. and everybody, even my cousin Derek was in the crew with him, Stevie and the DJ and my main man Alan. Energy. And let me say this too. This is facts. I should have said this a while ago. I had never heard of no one selling mixtapes in that fashion until that day I met Jay-Z. The day I met Jay-Z, when he got the tape, he said, "Oh, you Randy P." He said, "Man, you just like Kid Capri." I said, "Who's Kid Capri?" He said, "It's a DJ in New York. He's selling tapes just like you do on the street."
Oh, that's crazy.
Right? And I still never heard. I was like, well, I don't know who Kid Capri is. So maybe about 2 years later, I was in getting records in Baltimore, and it was a record that had Kid Capri written on it. I said, that's got to be the same guy Jay-Z talked about. Even then, I didn't even.
Did you buy the tape?
I bought the record. I think it was on Warner Brothers at the time. But at the time, I still had never heard of Kid Capri tape. You know, we on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. You know,
Yeah, we didn't get music.
And I got the music.
TNT
but we didn't get
TNT was
tapes.
really.
We didn't have tapes like that from other DJs. You know, we didn't have tapes. When I heard it. But then one of my friends, he went to New York. He said, "I got a Kid Capri tape." I like, "Yo, I gotta hear it." So when I heard the tape, I like, "Yeah, he nice." Like, you know, like he's the first person I heard to make a tape, you know, to sound it like I am. Now I'm gonna say this too. In that period of time where my mother and dad broke up and I had to move to Bellevue, go to St. Michael's School, my mom came to my grandmother's house one day and she had a tape. And it was a group called Chapter One and Company. They were from Cambridge, and they used to have an echo box, and it used to be like CCC 111 company disco.
Right, yeah.
See how they made tapes back then? They made it live at the party.
Yeah.
But because I'm a kid and I don't DJ at no club, all my tapes was made at home. That was the difference. It was DJs that made tapes, but they made it. It was just recording them live.
That's how go-go tapes used to be. That's how go-go tapes used to be. Like go-go tapes was always made live in the clubs at the time. Yeah,
and I
before they really started doing it in the studio.
We called it what kind of tape? We called it something. It was called something. The go-go tapes. I forget what we called it. But it was a name for it that we called it. Anyway, but I would get those tapes. I would get those tapes and bring it down and give the go-go to the people when I'm DJing. But yeah, that's how I realized, okay, I'm a DJ. I can make myself a tape. And I think that's when I really started making myself a tape. After I heard the Chapter One tape. And the other thing about that too is, like I said earlier, I like to rap on the mic. And at that time, I was living in Easton. And so when I moved to Cambridge, we all get a little cipher, you know, rapping. So I get on the mic and I'm like, what? So like every time I rap, I was echoing it. But what I didn't know it was the device. I didn't know it was an echo. I didn't know. I just heard the tape of them DJing saying CCC 111. I'm thinking they doing it with their mouth. I didn't know it was a machine. So when I make my rap, I'm putting the echo. So now the kids,
I do it myself for free.
Yeah. So now the kids is like, and this is true. One of the homeboys told me, one of the homeboys that was in that area, he told me, he said, we was like, what? No, who? No, he said, somebody came to him and said, yo, it's this kid that do the echo box. You know, they would have made a bit. I thought, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I thought
he was like Dougie Fresh back then.
So that was like, yeah, it's this kid, man. He rapping, he can do the echo. So I'm rapping with the echo, you know, and come find out, man, that's a machine. It
was a machine.
Man.
That's crazy.
And to this very day,
wild,
when I DJ, every time I DJ,
you still do the echo?
I got to have my echo. I got to have my echo. This was back in 81.
New Donnie McClurkin.
Yeah. That's true. So big shout out to Chapter One. Right. Also, want to give let me get another big shout. I want to give big shout out to Big Jimmy, Chapter One and Company, DJ Eddie J,
NYCS,
legend. Eddie J. There was another crew called Mr. Groove and Company. And that's the only real people I really can remember the DJ from Cambridge. It might have been a couple other DJs I can't remember, but those are the one that was so memorable to me. Because I was the young kid, so they was already getting it. They in the clubs, and I'm just up and coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm just up and coming. But it worked in my favor because I was doing all those house parties. It worked in my favor because I had a lot more.
When did Mix start putting out tapes? I do remember Mixtape. I do remember Cleveland tapes.
He started making. I don't know when he really first started, but he would start getting popular. It was in the 90s.
It was in the 90s, right?
It was
like 93, 94. I want to say that time.
Yeah,
might have been before then because I do remember.
And Mix, if you hear Mix, you see this interview. If Mix, you see this interview. Real. He's still on the mic now.
Oh,
He got
yeah?
a whole platform.
Oh,
He got a whole hip hop platform. It's
I remember
nice,
when I was locked up. I remember we went to jail. I was in jail with Mix when he put a bid before. No, I was in jail. We was at 829. We was in jail with Mix.
Cool, 829.
Yeah, we was at 829 on Fieldcrest, and he had told me about when they had got a record deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had a song that was out, you know what I mean? They had a big song that was out called Pump It Up or something like that.
Pump
you know
That
what I mean?
House.
He told me
That
about
House.
that. He was like, man, we wasn't trying to do that kind of music. He was like, but when they was like, nah, you gonna do this kind of music, we was out there like, pump it out, pump it out.
Yeah,
He
he's
said, you know
straight
what I mean?
hip hop.
Yeah.
On the other side,
he told us about that story. Yeah, he told us about that story. It was dope.
Big shout out to Mix.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Cambridge, man, they took care of me, man. Like, he pulled me to the side and said, look, Randy P., why you sell your tapes for $5? I said, well, you think I should sell it for more? He said, yeah. I said, you think I can sell it for 10? He said, yeah. I said, well, hey, I got a tape right now. Buy it. So I sold the tape. But he had to pull me to the side and let me know. See, he's from New York, so he knew they were selling for 25. Man, I could have been paid.
Shout out to Headache too, man. Shout out to Headache. Shout out to D Haven, man. Shout out to Headache.
Like, he really
That's what they call it.
Headache.
He really looked out for me that time. He pulled me to the side. Like, but see, again, I'm the type of person to listen. Like, okay, if you tell me I can sell it for 10, maybe I should sell it for 10. You know, I still was short.
Who was going to turn you down, though? Who was going to turn you down?
Nobody. I had the game locked up at that
tapes,
time.
I never forget that.
Yeah, I had the game locked up at that time.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Like,
Randy P tapes was everywhere.
On the real, like,
only tape that I would listen to over Randy P tape, and this is when I really got into hip hop, was a doo wop tape.
Yeah,
Wow.
You know, doo
but
wop.
that's
But that was a little bit later on. That was like 95.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I remember when people would only come out for them tapes. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, man, on Fridays, you already know. On Fridays, I'm coming through with the bag.
Yeah.
I'm selling this joint. 10 minutes, I'm back home in 10, 20 minutes. Even when I put the tape out this year, I sold it in 3 hours. I sold all my tapes, cassette tapes. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
What year did you put your first mixtape out?
In 82. 1982. I dropped my
So
first
just think
mixtape.
about this. From 82 to 2025, we know it's somebody that still got his tapes.
Yeah, it's some people
that's
got
crazy.
Somebody.
I
yeah,
talked to
yeah.
some people that got the tapes. I just tell them to send me pictures. I don't want the tapes.
I want to hear him.
That's crazy.
I want to hear him. I want to hear how he was rocking
I
back
like
then.
to listen to him sometime, but like,
Well, of course, you know,
when I hear all the cussing I was doing and all that, like, man, I can't believe I felt like I was at a dark place when I hear those. That's just how I feel, you know what I mean? When I do platforms like this, I want to make sure that I cover everybody who was there for me. And
If it's somebody we don't like, we're going to bleep it out.
Bleep it, don't bleep this out. I want to give a special shout out to, so during this time, let's say 88 to like 90, it was a crew was bubbling up. Let's say early 90s. It was a crew bubbling up of girls. They called themselves the Juice Crew. You know, and Cambridge, I'm telling you, Cambridge was different, man. It was different. And every neighborhood had their own crew, but it was a group of girls. They called it the Juice. That's a little bit after 89 because I was DJing the Hole. I was DJing the Black Hole. And there's this girls called the Juice Crew. And, man, they used to book me to do their parties. And they had the best parties. I mean, you know, I know I'm going to sell mixtapes. I probably hook up with, you know, probably get a little sporty. And I know I'm going to get paid for the party. I'm going to eat good. They always had good food. Like, this is good. Like,
He pulling a hat trick at the party.
Right.
and
That's
listen,
that.
man. And
He pulling a hat trick at the party.
that helped me. I just want to give him a shout out because the consistency of me DJing like that is what helped me to be who I am now. And then I do 2 to 4 gigs every day. I'm a DJ instructor. I've been teaching people how to DJ for 20 years. That's how I was able to evolve into that because I had support when I was younger. They could have got any DJ to DJ their part. They hired me. You know, it was a period of time I did like 2 years straight. When I was living in Cambridge, this was like I moved out of Cambridge in 1990. While I was living in Cambridge, I did house parties every weekend for 2 years. For 2 years, every weekend.
That's a lot.
As a kid. That's a lot of gigs, ain't it?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Go ahead. I know what you're going to ask.
So when you were younger, you were saying before, like you didn't do the drugs. There was no drinking. That's been a consistent thing,
That's
like
been
throughout your
consistent.
career. So what about the cursing?
I did not escape that. I was still cursing and fornicating.
Okay, I was about to ask about that too. Okay.
Few other sins I was committing.
So
So at what point did the shift occur?
I ain't never heard him cuss.
Well, you met me. You met the new Randy.
The new one improved.
The positive,
Even
the more
when I-
positive
It's always
one.
been positive.
When I hear
The more
those tapes-
positive one.
when I
He
hear
probably
those tapes,
cuss
I just
positive.
cringe. I just cringe. Even the tape that I'm gonna let y'all hear, when I hear it, I just cringe. Like, I can't believe I was talking like that, and it was accepted. But yeah, in '95, the summer '95. God just now again. I grew up. My parents was in church. My father ended up becoming a pastor when I was like 20. So that's why we moved back to Easton. We moved to Easton because he pastored a church near the Bay Bridge.
You always had that foundation.
Yeah, so I guess I had the foundation. And I remember my brother and I, we used to say, hey, one day we'll get saved when we get older. We used to say that. Like, when I went to Chesapeake College, it was a couple people that was in church going to Chesapeake College. So I was like, yeah, let's have a Bible study. So we used to read the Bible in college. And, I wasn't living that life, but I was reading the Bible. So I guess I must have got the Holy Spirit grab a hold of me. So one day, this is I really still can't explain it. It's just God. One day I rode to Cambridge to sell mixtapes. It was on a Sunday.
Actually, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. Before you say that, are you about to get into the transition from
That's what
secular
you-
music
yeah,
to...
that's what you asked me, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
You want something
Actually,
before that? Okay.
So before you do that, our other guy Shane, who was normally here with us, but he had to something else he had to take care of.
He's at a wedding rehearsal.
Right, he has a wedding rehearsal, right? So
Big up
not
to
his, by the way, but he has some questions for you, and it's
Okay.
actually leading into that. And I want to make sure he's still a part of the
That's
show.
what's
So
up. That's what's up.
I'm gonna play his.
We
his
don't do that
question
when
for
you're
you.
not here.
Well, maybe you should.
We definitely don't.
Yeah, we don't do that when you're not
And
here.
it's been a long time since I ain't been here.
That's
They got-
true.
That's
Short
true.
man.
That's
Exactly,
fact.
yeah.
That's fact. That's
I'm gonna
fact.
take this.
You
pad.
excused.
Go ahead.
You excused.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna play this for you, Dodo.
Oh my God.
Hey, the positive one. My apologies for not being there tonight, but my brother's gonna hold it down. But I do have a couple questions for you. What was the moment that you realized, or what was the event in your life that made you decide to stop doing secular music as far as hip hop and DJing, and then transitioning into doing gospel and implementing DJing into that? What was the moment? What was that event that made you say, you know what, this is where my life is changing and this is the direction I want? Part two of my question, Mr. Positive One, do you have any reservations about going into doing gospel and mixing it along with in a hip hop form? Did you think it would be well received, or
that's
did
a
you
good
not
question.
worry about that at all? It was your calling, and that's the path that you chose.
That's a really good question.
That's all.
Really
That was a good question.
Yeah. That's why
So
we
we
got
on the
that,
same
man.
page. Then I was
Yeah,
ready to get
yeah,
into
yeah,
that.
pretty
We
much
get
same
into
thing.
that.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
But make sure I go back to
He
that.
just wanted to hear his voice on the
Reception.
pod. Or
Well, that's big shout out to Shane. Big
I just
shout-
wanted to make sure he was still a part
big
of this.
shout out, big
Yeah,
shout out to
that's
Shane.
it.
Sorry you're not here today, bro. But yeah, you had a better place. You with your homie.
Yeah.
So check this out. So that's what I was kind of getting into. So I rode to Cambridge. Oh, let me tell y'all something too, y'all. I'm a storyteller. So if you ask me a question, I'm gonna go into a story. I'm sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why
So I
you
went
here.
to
That's what we're here
Cambridge,
for.
but it's spiritual. That's why I wanted to share this part of the story. I went to Cambridge, and when I went to Cambridge, somebody came up to me on a bicycle and said, "Hey, you hear about such and such?" I'm like, "No, what happened?" He said, "May got locked up." And I'm telling you, man, it's no reason for me to feel like this just because the guy got locked up. All my, I know people get locked up all the time. And this was in 1995. And I said, my whole spirit just dropped. Like, wow. I felt so bad that I rode on back home. I didn't even go sell no tapes.
wow.
I'm like- And then the next day, I had a DJ at Braun's clothing store. Big Braun, he was talking about earlier. Big shout out to my man Braun Rich. The next day I had a let me say this too. I was making a beat. That day, and then so the next day I had to go to Braun's clothing store and DJ. In the daytime, I think it was like a Monday or Friday or something, and I wherever day of the week it was. So while I was there, I was like, man, I feel so sad. Why I feel so sad? I couldn't figure out why I felt so sad. And from that day forth, all the way till December when I got saved, every day, my spirit, I just didn't want to do music no more. For some reason, just by the guy saying one of my friends got locked up, I just didn't want to do music. I could not figure out why, and it bothered me that I didn't want to do music no more. I was still doing music. I was still making mixtapes. I was still DJing, but I didn't feel like it. And I was like, why come I don't feel like? I just couldn't understand. I mean, I was getting stressed out about it, like really like crying. Like I called one of my homeboys one day, was like, yo, something's going on with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't want to do it. Like, and I don't want to say this too. At that time, my career was going like this, like soaring. Like I'm really Randy P at this time. You know, I'm Randy P at this time, but I just wasn't into it. And one day, I'm not gonna tell you the whole story, but the day of Christmas Day in 1995, the same guy I said who I started when I moved to Cambridge that wanted to DJ with me, his name is Milton Walls. He just came on my house out of the clear blue sky. The guy had never been in my house in Easton ever. And he just came out. I had lost touch with him. He's one of my friends when I moved there that had a different path than I did. I stayed I'm doing music and that's it. If you want to do something else, I'm not going with you. I'm going my way. Right. So I lost a lot of friends early on, like close, like far as hanging with. Everybody was still my friend. But I haven't seen him in long. So he came over my house. He started talking about Jesus and all that stuff. Now I wasn't really trying to
sound like Milton.
I wasn't trying to hear that. Like,
hey man, his pops was like that.
And I was like, I was stressed out.
Yeah.
I was stressed out. But
that man Big Milton was like that.
I didn't go off on him or nothing like that. I just listened to him, And he had somebody with him. And they start prophesying, and I was like, what? No. So the very next day, I'm cutting the story short, but the very next day, man, my mom asked me to go to church. And so there was like a prayer service, but I don't know. I think it's church. I think it's just a regular service, but it's prayer service. So after it was over with, I guess my mom had talked to the preacher or whatever, tell him I was stressed out, and he wanted to talk to me in his office. Big shout out to Pastor Abbott. He's no longer with us. He just passed away this year. Big shout out to Pastor Abbott because he led me to church. He led me to God. I'm sorry. So he's talking to me. But one thing, what happened before that on Christmas Day, Milton, when he left, he said, "Can I pray for you?" I said, "Yeah, you can pray." I figure ain't no harm in that. He can pray for me, right? He started praying for me, man. I just start crying. I was like, wow. So I'm thinking to myself, why am I crying? Like, there was no reason for me to cry. I went upstairs and told my sister, I said, hey, Milton was here. You know, him and Creekmore was here. She's like, I said, what's wrong with you? She was crying. I said, what's wrong with you? She said, I don't know. I just start crying. I said, you just start crying? Later on, as I got into God, I asked him one day, why come we was crying that day? He said, my anointing came over the house. And just by God's anointing came on, it broke the ice, wherever it was that was keeping me away from him. That's when it broke. And this was on Christmas Day. The next day, the preacher, but Milton said this. He said, my nickname is Ron Ron. He said, you know, even you, Ron Ron, I don't care how good of a person you is. If you don't know Jesus Christ, your personal savior, you die, you going to hell. I'm like, what? So I'm like, what? Okay. It was too much. He was hitting me with the Jesus too much. I'm like, what? So when I went to church the next day, the pastor almost said the same thing. He was like, well, you know, you can leave out of here knowing Jesus Christ, your personal savior. And then, you know, but if you don't know him, you know, if something happened to you, you know, he basically said the same thing. And that's like, man, you know what? Man, I'm not living right, man. I'm not. It was my conviction. I was convicted because I wasn't living right. And I knew I wasn't living. I was doing things, y'all, I'm not going to talk about on this podcast, but I was showing out, yo. I was starting to do, I wasn't being the positive person that I was supposed to be in the public eye, you know what I mean? And I knew that, you know what I mean? And it was all boiling down to.
Was you in a relationship at the time?
No. He talk about
Several.
all them.
Several.
You know what he talking about.
Yeah.
Sure,
We don't
he
have
was
to get
doing
in
some
that.
things.
We don't have to get in that. Sure you was.
Yeah, sure.
He was doing some things.
Oh, they thought that. They thought
I'm a
you
young
was
black male at the 1990s.
Yeah.
Not relationship.
Making some money, get popular, you know what I mean?
But,
So,
you know,
we know.
Yeah, you know, hey. And so, yeah, I had to make a tough decision. And I wasn't thinking about the fans. I wasn't thinking about nobody but Randy P. I cannot leave out of here. If something happened to me, I think I'm going to go to hell. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And he led me to the sinner's, he did a sinner's prayer for me. I still didn't really know what was going on, to be honest. But I could tell you something, y'all. My life changed from that day forward because the very next day we used to have a production meeting. Big shout out to my homeboy Thack. I had a friend named Thack Palmer from over in Delaware, and we had equipment and we used to have production
Seaford?
meetings. Yeah, that's my
Yo,
dude.
shout out to Thack. Yo, I ain't heard that
Yeah,
name
we used to
in
make beats
years.
together. So I have evolved into now I'm a producer now. You know, like maybe once I moved back to Easton. Like when you in Cambridge, everything is Cambridge. When I moved back to Easton, then I got more free. People can touch me now. People can come over my house. People weren't trying to come to my house in Cambridge. We did big shout out. We did used to have a party once a year. We would have a party for a whole weekend. We would have a party, and we would St. Michael's Easton would come over then. But that's like the only time you see people from out of town.
Yeah, it was
come
a lot
only
of
when we
rivalry,
had our party. And other than that, you didn't see it on the regular unless they was in the hustle game. But not just regular girls, and they ain't coming to Cambridge like that. But anyway, we went on and so the next day I went to the studio. So we went to his studio this time and started putting a disc in. And so what we do, everybody put their best beats. You know, like it's like a DJ crew, and we put our best beats. I put my disc in, and I was just like, I just wasn't feeling my own music. I wasn't even feeling my own music, and I was like, man, this don't even feel the same no more.
Wow.
And so I was like, they was like, what's wrong with you? I said, man, I got saved last night. They was like, what? It's like, man, that don't mean you can't do music. But I was like, man, this don't feel the same. Like, I didn't feel the same. It wasn't even 24 hours. And I didn't even feel the same off my own music. I got my little disc and went home, and I was like, I guess it's over with. I guess I'm never gonna do music again, you know.
So yours was like an instant transition.
Instant
it was
transition.
Just like that.
God just came down and just cleaned me up, and I didn't stop, you know, fornicating and stuff immediately. You know, it took me about 4 or 5
So
months.
it wasn't an instant transition.
It was an instant transition that I said I'm not going to
transition away from
but
that.
the music. I said, I'm not doing that no more.
It was an instant
and I was still
transition.
making
Can't
beats.
let that one go over there.
I was making beats at home, but I wasn't putting nothing out, no tapes, no parties, none of that. People calling me, I'm like, nah, I don't do that no more. I mean, people was actually mad at me, like, yo, why come you not DJing anymore? They was like mad. I can never seen where somebody mad. You trying to do something good in your life, and people was mad at you. So
Because they can't benefit off of it.
Because they couldn't benefit off of it, the club owners and all that. So I said, all right, so nobody in my crew really, even Ron Duke can tell you the truth. They didn't call me at first. But what I just found out just this year that they had a meeting within themselves and said, look, and it was my man Mookie Mook, big shout out to Mookie. He let them know, look, this man has been convicted. Something is convicting this guy. And that's why he knew a little bit about church too. I didn't know about conviction and all that stuff. But I was just convicted at how I was living, and I knew it wasn't right. So I I got to step away. So at the time, I didn't think I could do anything Christian, period. Nothing. But what happened was about 6 months after I got saved, about, let's say June, July, somebody said, hey, we want you to DJ at our wedding. And I'm thinking, why you call me for? They said, well, you the only Christian DJ I know.
So in between this time, you wasn't DJing
I didn't
at
do
all?
nothing for 6 months.
Wow.
I threw away all my records.
Dang.
I threw away my equipment.
threw them away?
Me and my homeboy, we spent 5 hours. All we did was go upstairs, get the records, go downstairs for 5 hours straight.
That's
Just up
crazy.
and down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had a whole studio.
lot
I had
of
a studio
records.
room.
Yeah.
I had 2 rooms full of records. I had one room. The whole room was record stacked to the ceiling, crates of records. Then the other room is where I had my studio equipment, and that had a whole bunch of records in it. Because I'm not only a producer, so I collect records to produce, but then I'm also an active DJ. So I got 2 of every single record. I
Yeah.
got 2 of everything. Yeah. So it's like, it's just a process. And then my friend was trying to sort through to see what records he wanted. So now it's taking even more time. I'm like, yo, we got to hurry up because it's about to be Sunday.
Get that James Brown real
We
quick.
started at 1 o'clock in the morning. Because I said, I can't do this in the daytime because it's gonna be like the flea market out here. When I got saved, I didn't feel like I had friends no more. I'm gonna tell you another story too, but Emory was like my only friend that I knew in Cambridge. Now I'm gonna tell you this. This is, I know y'all think I just keep bigging up Emory, but he's been in my life in vital parts.
That's part of your story.
Right.
So yeah.
So I get saved and nobody's messing with me. When I say nobody's messing with me, nobody's calling me and saying, yo, you good? Or nobody's calling me or nothing. Like, I got no friends now. Now I got to take a job. Like I'm like a regular
Randy
person.
tripping, man. He
now
got
I'm like
saved.
a regular person again now, right?
He doing good and stuff.
Yeah, I think people just didn't understand why would I do something like that when I'm when I'm at
When
a
at the
certain
top,
level,
uh-huh.
and they didn't know about what to do. But anyway, so one day about maybe 4 months after I got saved, Emory comes over the house. I said, whose car is this? I'm thinking I rubbed somebody the wrong way. I'm thinking like, what did I do? Who car could this be to build my house? And out pops Emory. And so I'm talking to him for about 5-10 minutes. I said, look, man, I got saved. I'm in church. He put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, man, I know you got church saved. Everybody knew. We know you got saved. That's what I'm over here for. Why come you don't come to the house no more? And I was like, what? I'm thinking like, you want me still come to your house? So I'm going to be honest, y'all. I stopped going to Cambridge because a lot of my friends was in the hustle game. And I felt like if I go to Cambridge, that's going to be when they have a drug bust. That's what I felt at the time. I was like, I'm supposed to be in church. And if I go to these people's houses, it's going to be a drug bust or something. Like, it's going to be. So I was like, I can't go to Cambridge, you know what I mean? I was already scared sometime when I went there anyway over people's houses, different people's houses. But I definitely wasn't trying to go down since I'm in church. And so I was like, nah, I just. So after he left the house, about 2 days later, God said, I want you to go. I said, what? He said, I want you to go. And I'm just me and him talking. And he was trying to tell me, now it's time to go back and tell people about Jesus. And I just used to go to Cayman. At first I start praying over the streets. Then he said, no, I want you to get out the car. I'm like, no. So I got out the car and the words start coming out my mouth. And
He wanted you to do what Milton was doing, because that was Milton thing. Milton would be in the streets.
Milton, and I wasn't at that level yet. I was still, I wouldn't say I was ashamed of God, but I was pretty much acting like I was ashamed of God. Like, if you didn't ask me if I was in church, I wasn't going to tell you. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to say nothing that I'm in church or nothing. I just basically didn't talk to nobody. So big shout out to Emory, because he broke the ice for me to go out and witness. He's like, no, we still friends. You still my brother. You can come over anytime you want. Just because you in church, that don't mean nothing. Matter of fact, you can still do music. I'm like, I can't do music, man, because at the time, quartet groups and choirs was popular at the time. It wasn't no Christian hip hop. So I'm like, I can't do this. This is like, I couldn't see me doing no choirs or quartet. I just couldn't see that coming off of hip hop and R&B.
Did you feel like you was afraid to put yourself out there as far as your faith, because you was afraid of being alienated by everybody that was around you? Or that because you was already being alienated?
I just didn't know enough about God to even spread. It's like going to school. You just started school and you really don't know how to tell people what you just learned.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? You just learned something incredible.
You know what?
But you don't even know how to tell nobody, because they call it a babe in Christ.
You should have just did it like you was doing.
Actually, I had a question about that as far as being a babe in Christ, because I remember, so the guy that I started rapping with, who actually made me get serious about rapping, about 3 or 4 years as we were rapping, he got saved. Now, I grew up Christian. I was already saved, always been Christian, right? So when he got saved, and then I started noticing this in other people that were babes in Christ that were just now getting saved, every single conversation is about God. And the way that you try to live your life when you're a babe in Christ, for a lot of people, when you first get saved, you're trying to be as perfect as possible. You don't want to commit any sins, because at that point, any sin, that conviction, it could be the smallest sin, but that conviction feels huge, right? So what happens is, because of that, a lot of people just start to kind of shy away from you, because and so that's what was happening with me and my boy, because every single conversation was about God, and I'm like, dog, we can talk about music, we can talk about sports. Everything doesn't have to be about God.
It's definitely a reason. Now, let's go back to the word you just said. That's very important. Sin. When I got saved, I still was sinning. You know what I mean? So I probably felt like I can't tell nobody about Jesus. I'm still having sex myself.
But the truth is, even now,
felt that way.
Even all of these years still in, you're still sinning.
I still listen.
Because
all falls short of the glory of God.
Exactly. Nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
But I don't.
I mean, I try. I think I am.
Sitting there. I don't practice. That's the key. We all fall short of the glory of God, but I don't practice. When I say practice, I see that I make a mistake, and I keep it moving, going in the same direction. That's the key right there. You don't stop. Some people they feel like their sin is, the devil makes you feel like your sin is, you did so bad that you just stop and you get stuck. God got a plan for you right down the road, ready for you, bless him, waiting for you. You got stuck because you knew you did something, you convicted from that, but that's just a trick of the enemy, though, bro. That's a trick. That's a trick. But I wasn't one of those evangelist guys at first. I guess because I was probably in my, I just thought you just said something that might be important that's a fact. That probably because I was still like, I had a friend that, but look, even with that, I go a week, then I go 2 weeks, then I went like a month. Okay. Slip right back.
Can do this.
Oh, okay. Talking about without sex.
So one day I just like, I can't do it because one day I feel like Jesus was coming back. I like, I can't be doing this and Jesus come back.
You in the middle of it and Jesus come back.
And I stopped. After that day, I stopped. I can't do it no more. The girl was upset about it too. Or the woman, she was upset.
I was just
going
to ask you that too. Was she
she was
hot?
upset about that, but she understood. She understood. We had a part of
She
ways.
didn't understand. She was.
We had a part of way. Yeah, she used to be like, I ain't gonna say the thing she used to say, but yeah, she used to be, But to me, that was my vice. See that, I'm supposed to be the positive one or whatever, but I still had things that was hindering me for having a close relationship with God too. And sexual relations was one of them, you know what I mean? I used to be like, look, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Everybody in the party having a good time. I'm the only one here working, doing something. I'm going to have some fun. So after the party was over, that's where I felt like I could have some fun that way, you know what I mean? Because everybody else having fun, so I want to have me some fun. And that's the way I felt. And, at the time, it was attacking, I was getting attacked every day. I was getting attacked. So.
Scratch me, DJ.
But you know what? You said something earlier. You said when you listen to that old stuff, you kind of cringe, right? But I believe that even in sin or even in our past lives, God is still working, right? Because you say you cringe, but what I heard is there's growth.
Yeah, it's definitely
so we
growth.
can apply. We can applaud the growth.
Yeah,
and that story that actually is now a testimony for somebody else.
Yes, it is.
They can listen can listen to you say, all right, at one point I was here, but now I'm here.
Yeah.
That's so true. Actually, the sin, even though it's bad, it all worked out for the good.
Absolutely.
I
do believe that God is in control of my life. I do believe that everything that happens to me, good or even what I might consider a setback, is all God orchestrated it. And even my musical history, after I got saved, guess what happened? When I got saved, guess what happened? Rockefeller was formed. And then I see my friends that I was just in my room. And I see them going in a different path. Yeah. And then I'm in church.
Billionaire.
In Salisbury, like, what in the world? I did the right thing. Then I thought I did the right. Why come I'm not touring like that?
You could have been in the Hamptons right now.
So let's go to his question. So I did get saved and I start I met this group, these guys. Somebody invited me to a street function and these guys was rapping. This is in the same 96. I said, man, one rap West Coast and one rap East Coast. I said, they got the styles mixed, but I like, they rapping. I can't believe Christian is rapping. I said, I got the information. I said, man, I got a whole thing of beats. I still had my SB 1200 disc. I didn't have the 1200 no more, but I had the disc. So I went over to the Dak studio in Seaford. I said, Dak, I need to put my disc on tape. So put all my beats on tapes. I said, look, yo, I got a bunch of beats I've been making or made. Y'all can have these beats. I said, I really don't want you to use them, but if you use them, that's cool. I was convicted. Like, I didn't want him on beats. But I was like, if these guys can rap, And so I just linked up with them. I didn't start producing them, but then I started playing at this Christian club. They had a Christian club called Club Jubilee.
A Christian club?
In Lewis, Delaware.
I can't remember when it was formed. Yeah, they don't have those no more.
like 98 or something, 97, 98.
That's wild.
They turn the water into wine at them clubs.
And I was the resident DJ. Hell yeah, but it was all that, bro.
So yeah,
it was all that, bro. It was.
Let me order
that.
like 3 crackers. 3 crackers and a shot of wine.
Yeah. They don't have last call, they have last supper.
It was a really good experience. The guy knew I was a DJ. He ended up being one of my close friends. Big shout out to AJ Jones. We call him Pastor AJ. But we ended up being close friends, and he had a rap group. But it was really supposed to be a youth ministry. But it was rap, and he was like the lead rapper. They had a couple girls with him. So every time we had the club, they have it once a month. Our DJ and they perform, and they had other groups perform. Everybody came through that gospel, go, hip hop. Like they were so trend setting because no one.
And it was all Christian based music.
All Christian. It was no Christian.
Wow,
club,
that's crazy.
Nowhere.
That's early. That's early on too, when it wasn't really, you know what I mean?
Nowhere.
Right.
Like so he had a group, and I said, man, what you want? Somebody. I felt like somebody was dissing him, and I said, man, what you want to do? I didn't tell him the whole story. What I heard the people say, but I was like, they was like, because his style was different. He had more of a kid and play style.
Okay.
By that time, people started to use the Nas.
There was a lot of gangster rap out back then.
Yeah. And his style was dancing, party type thing, which is right up my alley, you know what I mean?
And he must didn't realize how nice Kid and Play was.
Yeah, that was. And
Kid and Play was nice, yeah.
The whole crew,
Remember Kid and Play
They
was,
on the
it was
playlist
them at
right
one point in
now.
time, yeah.
For real.
They on the
Mine
playlist
too.
right now.
Mine too.
Last night is my joint. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, go ahead,
I
man.
asked him what he wanted to do. He said, man, I want to put a record out. I was like, what? I know how to do that. Like, I already knew the formula of that. When I was in college, I used to read that book from Donald Passman. It's like a 3-inch book on music. What's I forget the name of it, but Donald Passman is the name of the author. It was like 3 inches. I read that thing cover to cover because I knew I was going to be in the music business. This is before I got in church. When I becoming in the music business, I'm going to take this as my blueprint. And I ended up producing them, putting out their first project. I think it was 2000 or 01. And that's how I ended up starting producing. So it took me from 96 up to, let's say 2000 to really get into the Christian rap thing. I had a few joints. Back then, I was, you couldn't really find it that easy. Like, you had to dial up on the internet, had to dial up. So I don't remember what the platform was.
I can hear it right now.
Me too.
So that's annoying, yo. Somebody I'm on it. I'm trying to download that thing. And so I would get...
Sound like a fax machine.
It was more really that I had like R&B sounding gospel. Some songs had a little rap to it. With Kirk Franklin came with the stomp. That was groundbreaking too for me.
Yeah.
So...
Remember, Kirk Franklin got a lot of flack too, coming from when he infused that hip hop and gospel. He got a lot of flack for that. Yeah.
Shout out to one of our former guests, Ty Bowden.
Yeah, Ty Bowden. I produced her too.
She
I did her first
got
album.
some music.
She can sing.
Yeah, I
she
did.
make music too.
Oh yeah, you did say that on the show. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
He said, can she sing?
She's an awesome singer.
Are you kidding me, yo?
I had no idea.
I did her first album.
that.
I did her first album.
Really?
Yeah, she was on the show.
How I hooked up with her was Ron Du. Ron Du and Mondre, they must have met her somewhere. That's when Ronnie had a studio and stuff, and she wanted to do gospel. They're like, well, we don't do gospel, but we know somebody to do gospel. Talking about me, I had already put out The Flock. The group was called The Flock. I had put them out. I think we was on their second album by that time, and they introduced me to Ty Bowden. And so we just started making joints. And I had a guy that wrote with me, big shout out to Kevin, had a guy, Kevin and Bront, they were brothers, but they made beats too. So we just collaborated. I said, yo, give me the beat, give me your beats. We'll find out which one she liked. So I did like half the album. They did like the other half, but it came out under my record imprint. And that's how I met Ty Bowden, man.
That's dope.
Hold up. Listen real quick.
Uh-oh.
Listen real quick. That's the first song I heard this morning too.
You just warming up with DJ Randy P.
Yeah.
That's her right there.
Yep.
Ty.
And that's the beat I did.
Yeah, because remember we tried to get her to sing on the show, but she wouldn't. Yeah, she wouldn't at the
I ain't
time.
here for that.
Clap your hands with the enemy on the run. When you clap your hands, it's a form of praise. A praise to the Father, thanking Him always for being so wonderful, faithful and true. So concerned about my soul and all that I go through. I owe Him everything and thanks just won't do. So as long as I live, I will praise You. Come on, clap your hands.
Yeah, just a little.
Wow.
That was fire.
That brought back so many memories.
How long ago was
That was
that?
fire.
Oh,
That had to been like 04,
2012.
05. No. That came out in 04.
Oh, it must have was posted on YouTube at 2000.
Yeah, we might.
2012.
It couldn't have been 2000. Maybe it was. Yeah, she was the first R&B well, R&B type. I was happy to get that project.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you
it sounded
did.
good. It sounded good.
Because everything else we had like singing on the rap tracks. She's the first person I produced that was just all and I had did that beat right on Reasons. If y'all familiar with Reasons, did that beat. I just listening to it, it brought back a memory. The bass line and stuff. Oh yeah,
It was a nice beat.
And I did a remix to one of those. I don't know if it was that song. I did so one of my tricks back them days. They didn't know about. I knew about the music business, you know what I mean. And of course, I bought thousands of records. I knew that if I put out a project, I could put out remixes with it. I can put out acapellas as a track, you know. So I was real strategic.
You was
when I
already
put out-
repurposing music back then too.
I was already knew what to do. I had the business down. Now I will tell y'all what's the difference between working in the regular world at that time for me. I'm only telling my experience. For my experience at the time, becoming a Christian, when I wasn't a Christian, we'd stay in the studio all night, shirts off, sweating, all night long, getting it, right? When I got to the church, but I didn't always work with the most talented people. You know what I mean? I had to like work with them, groom them. You know, I wasn't a vocal coach, but I wish I was on some people. I had to work with them, right? Because everybody's on a different level. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You got to be able to learn how to work with person where they at as a producer. When I got in church,
You had to put them shirts on.
There's talent up the yin yang in church, but they didn't know music business. That's the key. So now I got the reverse. Instead of me trying to beg people to try to get their craft better, I got all these people with all these special gifts that's super talented. Think about it. They practice every week. They get to execute every week because they're doing it in church. Sometimes 2 and 3 times on Sunday.
Like my Aunt Rosita, she's very talented. You know my Aunt Rosita?
Yeah.
She's getting ready to get back into music.
Rosita,
she getting back in music
now?
Yeah.
I should work with her too.
Yeah, she getting back in music now too.
This one I wasn't
She getting back in music now too. So yeah.
When I wasn't saved, I used to work with Rosita. Anybody that had music at that time, at that time I was like the only young person who had a studio. I rarely don't even know older people that had a studio, but definitely when it comes to the younger generation, I was the only one that really had a studio. And I would give Trev Holland and Harold, they was doing music over there, him and Lonnie. But I don't know if they had.
Talking about.
I don't know if they had a studio now. I don't know. I think they went to a studio. I actually had a makeshift studio in my house that people came to. You know what I mean? This before I got saved. And then when I got saved, I did the same thing at my house when I got saved.
Shout out to Lonnie Valley too, man.
And,
I want to get him up
big
here
shout out
too.
to Lonnie.
Yeah.
And that's how it went down with Ty Bolden, man. So anyway, I got doing the hip hop, start producing groups, and then I start linking up with the kids from UMES. Now it's like I'm hooking up with all these new people because they from DC, they from Philly, and now I'm producing all these young people doing 1 or 2 songs for them. They come to the house to record. After they hear my beats, then they want some of my beats, and now I'm starting to get out there as a producer, and I was like, yeah, this is the lane I want to get into. I never got to the level that I really wanted to get to, of course, like Jay and all them, you know what I mean? But it was fulfilling me. I'm doing I'm fulfilled now, you know what I mean? I know about the music business. I was doing streaming way back in 01. Way back in 01, I was doing streaming. Christ. And how I got hooked up on it, it was more money back then for me than it is now. Back then,
Of course, because these streaming platforms
it's different now. Yeah, but
these streaming platforms, they ain't giving you nothing.
I had a distribution deal. And this is like 2001, I had a distribution deal. And they said, do you want, cassettes, CDs at that time? And it's like, do you want digital distribution? I just checked the box, yes. I didn't know what it was or nothing. So I would look at online, you could see your statement. And I see all these people, it'd be like 0.001, 0.009.
Oh, they was robbing you back then too.
I was like, what is that? No, it wasn't rob. See, back then it worked in my favor. Now it's worse. It's not good now.
They called it
But back then it worked in your favor because, you had the physical copies and you had that.
And you had
See,
the digital.
now that's all they got. The physical copies, you don't have that. That was like the tip for me to get that. But here's the thing. I would look on my payment statement and I said to myself one day, I said, why am I only getting, that ain't even a penny. Why is it get 0.009? And then I looked at the top, it says stream. I'm looking for download. I'm looking for I'm looking for 99 cents. I'm looking for 69 cents. That's what I'm going to do. I'm talking about pages upon pages. I still had the documentation. I used to go pages upon pages looking for 69 cents, 99 cents. But I always see this 0.009. What in the world? They ain't never penny. Come find out, I looked at the top, it says stream. I said, well, what that mean? I said, well, maybe because they listening to the track. I just came up.
Instead of down,
I just figured it out
you
on
was
my
trying
own.
to-
So I said, oh, you know what? I said, if I can get people to listen to the track,
It's gonna make the numbers go
I said,
up.
you know what? If I get 500 people to listen to this track, that's $1. And then my wheels start turning. So then I made this whole campaign where I'm gonna get people listening to these tracks just to make them just when they get the dollar, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then one day I used to have interns. By that time I got an office in downtown Salisbury. So at this time I said, hey, you know, I had an intern. He came all the way from Dell State, and I said, I want you to look through this, and I said, I want you to. I just got him to tally up when I get all the streaming money and all that. Got him to tally it up. He said, you know what? When I came home one day, working at DCS, working at my job, I came to my office. He said, hey, you know, I got someone to share something with you. He said, you're trying to get 500 people. You're trying to get 111 people. By that time, I got it up to 111 people listen. If 111 people listen to the track, I get $1. By that time, I had worked it. And then he said, you're trying to get 111 people listen to the track. But what I'm seeing based off your data, that all you got to do is get one person to listen to 11 different songs. There's your $1 right there. I'm like, ooh. I'm talking about this is early. Like, we didn't know nothing about streaming. The only two companies that were doing it was Yahoo and a company called MediaNet. And they were out of Canada. So Yahoo, they had a thing called Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
Yeah. And so they did
Yeah, I
streaming.
remember Rhapsody,
This was
yeah.
before any of these Apple, none of these people were doing it. So I was like making, you know, $10, $20 here, $30 there. Every time I would show a new intern how to do the system, it'd get me a check. They were doing
dope.
it so much.
Yeah, that's dope.
I said, look, send it to all your friends. And I used to have an email where I say, look, hey, we just put out this new project from the flock. I want you to check it out and let me know how it sounds to you. And that was my email. But what I was doing was trying to get them to listen to it. Again, we had physical copies and we had streaming. So that was like a tip. See, now, why it's worse now is that's what people bank on. They bank on getting money from that. But you know, I don't know if y'all noticed that. You could get 1 million views and you only get about 4 Gs.
Yeah.
I just put out a physical cassette tape. If I really want to, I can make my 4 Gs way. Let me say it like this. I'm going to make 4 Gs off my tape before I'm going to get 1 million people listen to my tape. I guarantee I will sell it more on the cassette tape to get the 4 Gs faster than I will to get 1 million people to listen. That's because I'm an independent artist. Nobody really know. But somebody that's major like a Jay or somebody, yeah, they can get 1 million views like nothing if they put a new project out. But,
All right.
you know, go ahead.
Now, listening to you talk a lot about business, and you was early on in business and early on in entrepreneurship. Talk about a little bit what you do now with working with businesses and things of that nature.
All right, thanks.
What's the name of your company?
So my company is called Revive Sound Production, but I started a network called Think Big, Plan Bigger. I kind of got a shirt on now.
Yep.
Think Big, Plan
need one.
Bigger. So I started this, like I said, I don't know if I told Dre earlier. Basically, after I got saved, man, I had to take a job, man. So I didn't really.
No more DJ money.
It wasn't my field. I was working with people with disabilities and seniors, and it wasn't my field. So every year, I'm like trying to get up out of there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to strategize. How am I gonna get out of here? So during that process, you know, someone had invited me. My boss had invited me to come to a strategic planning meeting for the company, and at that time, every November, I would write down my little goals. And I said, next year I'm gonna do this. And it's always about expanding the company, making the company bigger. At the time, I was doing sound, Christian DJ services, and recording, and maybe a couple. Worked on sound systems at churches. Those are like the 4 main things I was doing. And I was like, man, I gotta expand. I gotta make more money. You know, I couldn't really see leaving my job, but I just was like, one day I'm gonna leave it. So I would make this little plan up. Some days I would achieve the goals. Some years I would achieve the goals, and some years I wouldn't. And so I went to this symposium. I went to this
Seminar.
the strategic workshop at the job. I was like, well, shoot, this is the same stuff I do. I set my goals. I set a little plan. I'm going to execute. I didn't know it was called strategic planning. So fast forward, I get to the point when I'm ready to leave my job. And I'm sharing this for all the entrepreneurs out there, you know, just giving y'all testimony of how it is when you leave your job. If you have a full-time job and you have something you have passion for, you can do it. You can do it. You can leave your job 30 years and be an entrepreneur, but you must have a plan. Don't just leave your job.
Yeah.
Have a plan. So 6 months before I was about to get married, I got married in 2013. 6 months before I got married, I just went to work. I woke up one morning and I felt like I was about to get fired. I was like, man, I feel like I'm about to get fired. So I went to work for 2 weeks, just feeling like I'm gonna get fired. And we worked in it's like medical world or whatever. And I was like, man, the state gonna come through. I felt like the state gonna come through. And by that time, they had maybe the supervisor. So I'm thinking, man, somebody did something. The state gonna come through. We gonna get excited.
Stressful.
Yeah, we gonna get. It's a trip. And God was like, nah, you know. And I said, God, what is this? Why I feel this way? And he said, I did this to you before. I said, what you mean you did this to me for? And he took me back to when he took my desire away from doing music. That's how I got saved. He had to shake me up. So I was starting to get comfortable there. Again, I'm getting, even though I have aspirations to go there, but I've been there 22 years. Even though I'm trying to go, I ain't left nowhere yet, you know what I mean? So God is like, nah, bro, I got a different path for you now. So I went on and talked to one of my friends who was a millionaire. I said, hey, man, you know, God is, you know, shaking me up about leaving my job. What should I do? And he said, first thing out of his mouth, he said, how many hours you put in your job? I said, I put in 9 hours. He said, man, if you could put 9 hours in your own company, what you think happened? I said, if I could put in 9 hours in my own company, man, my company was sore. That was my answer. So I still was processing it. And I asked one of my other friends, like I told Dre, I said, I felt like that guy was on my level. My second friend, I said, he on my level. So let me see what he
ain't
said.
no millionaire.
And man, he said the same thing. First thing come out of his mouth was, how many hours you work? I'm like, what? My homeboy just said the same thing. So like, okay, now it's real, God. This must be you, God. But I haven't told my fiance yet. And I'm about to get married. So, and she had, you know, she coming with 2 kids and like, And so, after 2 months of processing it, I said, this must be you, God. So I went on and told her about it. And she said, well, you know, she listened to me. She said, I feel like God is telling me the same thing. I said, yeah. She said, if God told you to leave your job, you got to leave it.
God is telling me to leave my job
what?
too.
I was like, what? I'm going to be honest with you. And
somebody. One of us got to work.
Yeah, somebody got to work, right? And I'm thinking it's me. I got to work. So I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking that she was going to get me off the hook. I thought she was going to be like, nah, don't leave your job. Because I'm telling God, like, I'm about to get married. This ain't no good time to be leaving my job. That don't sound right. And but it's all a faith walk, you know?
Yeah.
So I get married. 3 months after I get married, my wife loses her job. I said, uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
I said, this is getting real now. I said, I don't want you to make me lose my job. I see what you're trying to push me out, but I don't want to just lose my job like she did. They didn't. She was under contract, so she was able to work for till December, and so she got a little bit of money from that. So now she's not working, and I'm just working now, right? So I got this new family. It's all new. We got 2 houses, 2 mortgages, and so I finally get up the nerve. Said I'm going to do it. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to leave this job. Well, he told me one day. He said, this time next year you're not going to be here. I was like, oh no. So now I'm really freaking out about it. So I end up leaving my job, y'all. But I want to tell this story. This is for the entrepreneurs. I left my job thinking everything was comfortable and everything. I had one contract. I left my job in September. And I said to myself, hey, I worked for 22 years. I ain't doing nothing. So I took 2 weeks off. I was chilling. I ain't doing nothing. I still had my office downtown Salisbury. I had still had my company while I was working at my job. So, but I only recorded nights and weekends. I DJ on the weekends, recorded at night, and I worked on the day. Recorded my office, so I was like, okay, I still got the office, got the studio, you know, we can make some money, you know. And man, one day, I said it was the day before I was supposed to start this new contract with the YMCA. I called them up. I said, hey, you know, I'll be there tomorrow. You know, you got my room ready. I was like, they had me doing an after-school program. Go and pay me, you know. I was like, yeah, this is good, easy money. Man, because I had been doing summer camps. Let me say this too. I had started doing some. Once I really getting close to leaving my job, I started doing summer camps every summer. I go to Chesapeake College, different colleges. I would do summer camps to teach people how to DJ. And because I had started in YMCA in 2005. So and go back to, and that's why I know that Ty Bolden project was around that time, because I was teaching at the YMCA when we did the Ty Bolden contract, and I started YMCA teaching that in 2005, so I know it about around the time when Ty Bolden project came out. But yeah, listen, I called them up. They said, "Nah, well, Mr. Potter, you know," they said, didn't you get our email? What email? They said, we want to reschedule. Reschedule? What in the world? I done left my job for 22 years. What? I didn't say that to them. I was saying to my mom, like, what? And my wife, she's still not working yet? This a whole year went by. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I think I did the wrong thing. You know, I left my job. I thought you told me to leave my job. Like, I'm going freaking out. So I hang up the phone with them, and I'm just going, I said, okay, calm down, Randy. I'm at my office, and I said, calm down. I said, look, okay, I'm still a DJ. I know I got gigs. I looked at my calendar, y'all. I had 0 jobs.
Oh,
0.
wow.
In
Sweet.
October, I had no jobs. But when I left my job a couple weeks ago, the woman at the accountant lady, she said, "Hey, we got 3 checks for you." I said, "Oh yeah, I'll come back and get the checks." Because in my mind, I worked here for 22 years. I ain't coming back here. I'm getting away. I'm not even gonna come back to visit. That's what. Because it was hard for me to leave my job because I only left because God told me, and I was connected to these people. So I said, I better not even go to the job. Just to
Might make me want to come
'cause
back.
It make me want to come back. And that's true. That's how I was thinking.
Teaching classes and everything.
I was
right?
teaching classes and everything, and they still let me teach. God just worked it out in my favor. They called me up and said, "We still want you to teach classes." But that was after. This was after the story I'm telling you. Right. And so anyway, I said, okay. I don't have no jobs in October. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. I feel like somebody punched me in the chest. I was that stressed out. I went home. Now I went to church to go pray. Somebody saw me in the church. They said, "What's wrong with you?" I couldn't even talk, y'all. I was like this. I was like, what have I just done? I left my job. I'm married. I was just so scared. And I was like, God, I thought you told me to leave my job. What in the world? So I went home. I told my wife what happened. So now we praying. We praying.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just telling Dre, because Dre used to work at the same place I worked at. I used to check,
remember that.
I used to look at my checks. I'm one of those person, I'm all about that money. So I used to look at my checks. And I remember one time saying to myself, why come this check says HRT and it says CN? You know how it says state, you know how the state take their money, federal take their money.
Yeah,
and all the little acronyms and
all
stuff.
that shit, benefits, everything.
But at one point in my check, it says HT and it says HTR and it says CN. And it just said like 56 cents, $1,
Your
47
benefits.
cents. Yeah, I didn't really know what it was getting taken out of my check. I just remember saying to myself, I wonder what this is, but I never questioned anybody or nothing. So about a week go by, or maybe 2 weeks go by, and I'm praying like, God, what I'm going to do. I calculate all my bills. Oh, first of all, I went back to get those 3 checks. I went back to get those 3 checks
We
from my
know you
job.
did.
I bet
I
you
did
did.
my checks because I didn't used to take vacation that much, so I had 3 weeks worth of vacation. You know what I mean?
That they had to
got my
pay you
check.
for,
Yeah, so they got my checks. So I calculated I need $1,800 more just to get by October. So I need, because like again, we had 2 mortgages. We had a lot on us. So I was like, oh man, we just got not too long got married. But so like I'm stressing out. I go to the mailbox one day and I was 3 checks. You know what a check looked like? This look like a check. What's this? So,
The paper a little thinner. The envelope a little thinner. Yeah.
I'm going crazy over this check. So I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's a check. And guess how much it tallied out to be? Y'all know what it was. $1,800. When I seen that it tallied up to $1,800, I ran upstairs. I threw the checks on the bed. I said, God got us. God got us.
That's what's up, man.
And that's how I started my entrepreneurship. But with the confidence that God got me. Whatever I do, long as I stay lined up with him, it's got to work. It's going to have to work at some point. You the one told me. Even to this day, I ask God different questions like that. Why you tell me this? Why, But I had that was a faith walk with me. So what I tell to entrepreneurs, but I had a plan. After that, I didn't have a plan at first. I had a little plan. I had a plan when I exit what I was going to do. But now the plan gets serious. Now I have to execute now because I ain't got no money. And then also, this is another thing too. Those that have full-time jobs or been there for a long time, what I didn't know is that I was going to quit. I'm going to give you a little tip. I was going to quit. But someone, I ain't going to say who it was, told me, you got to tell them you retiring. I said, no, I'm quitting. No, you're retiring. We're going back and forth. I said, well, why should I retire? What tell me that for? Well, you got 20 years in and you can retire and you can get all your 401k. What? I can get my 401k. She said, yeah, you can roll it right over to your company. What?
Yeah,
and I didn't know that.
It's going to get taxed like a motherfucker, though. If you ain't got a Roth, it's going to get taxed.
If you take it out.
If you take it out early,
If you just roll it over to another account. See, what I did, I just rolled it over to my own business account.
Right.
And you was able to do that without it being taxed?
Yeah. You don't, it don't get taxed just to put it into another account, But I had to wait a little season because the money was the way I can't explain to you, but
it was that much.
Yeah, you
wait
got
for it all.
It was still, but I had access to it, right? So after I left my job, and after that first month, I got those checks. I said, okay, let me calculate how much money I need for the next few months, you know what I mean? So I tapped in it, Now, I did have to pay a penalty for tapping into it a little early. But hey, listen, I worked 22 years. It's my money.
Yeah.
This is my business. I'm trying to grow it. So I was able to tap into it, pay off some old bills.
Which I think is some bull anyway. That, I save up my own money and you still tax it. But they got the Roth 401 now.
Yeah, it's a way to get
the Roth.
Yeah.
They got the Roth now where they'll tax it.
Yeah.
They'll tax it before it goes in, so they can't tax it when you take it out early now.
And you can
they
put it
can't
in a
tax
self account. Keep that in mind. Y'all can put it in a self account too. And cut you off. But I got a vast history of that now. We can talk about that on another day.
Because we want to get. I want to get into like what you're doing now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm a storyteller. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
we can run long, and we can have a part 2 to this too. You know.
All right.
What I mean?
So fast forward a few months after that. God told me to start teaching people strategic planning. I'm like, how can I do that? Because I'm just starting myself. So I did my first. I left DCS in 2015. I did a symposium, which is like a business conference, and I taught people the art of strategic planning. And once I seen that people were grasping it, and I was starting to get results, business was starting to grow based off of me helping them get that blueprint. I just kept going on with it, and I do 2 a year. So last year and this year. I didn't do none this year in 2025, but now I'm doing it once a year. I just get all the business owners. If you want to achieve your goals, you come to my conference. A lot of people that even y'all know have came to the conference.
I seen a recap of when you did it. I think it was at the Packing House you did it. It was.
I did a DCS. Did a DCS.
DCS. So, that's what it was.
And, so now I do the symposium once a year, which is teaching you the art of strategic planning. And now I do a resource day. So basically, when people come to me, one of the goals, I say, okay, you need to talk to this person, you need to talk to this bank. I direct them sometime within the plan. But now what I do is I put all my resources in one room. And now if you need me to coach you, that's cool. But at least you got access to all the banks and insurance investments.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I give people an opportunity to get the resources they need every year.
So you have representatives from the bank actually at the seminar.
I have connections. I have a lot of good connection with the banks. Truist Bank, Wood Forest Bank, Queen Anne's Bank over here. They are the Queen Anne's, of course. They have one in Cambridge, and a whole bunch of people that I'm connected with now. That's great resource. Prime America. The accountants, the insurance people, Lionheart, which is over Cambridge as well. Big shout out to Jerry Taylor. It's a lot of and Jerry Taylor, she helped me get insurance. I didn't talk about this earlier, but somewhere within this process of me teaching people, I ended up having prostate cancer in 2019.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'm up here helping all these people achieve their goals, and then I get hit with this. God, what in the world? So for about 5 minutes, y'all ain't gonna lie, I thought I was gonna die. From the time I got out the doctor's office to my car, I said, man, what in the world? But you know what I said to myself? I said, man, I've done a lot. I helped a lot of people. I said, God, if this is the way you want me to die, so be it. I said, but if I live, I'm going to tell people about.
Did you have symptoms of anything like that, or you just found out from a routine check?
I found out from a routine check, but I'm the one that told the doctor to check that because I start using the bathroom a lot.
Yeah. They say that's one of the biggest symptoms. Yeah.
At that time, I was diagnosed as diabetic, but I beat it by changing my eating habits. I was like real low diabetic. I was 6.7, like real low. And he said,
that's what I had to do myself.
That's all you got to do is change your eating habits. So I was drinking water like crazy. No sweet tea no more, no sodas, all that.
Cut the sugar out, cut the sugar and the carbs out. Yeah.
I lost like 20 pounds. I was like, I'm good. And so I'm thinking, just because I drink a lot of water, that's why I use the bathroom a lot. But it was late at night while I'm in the bed. Now I gotta get up in the middle of the night.
You gotta go.
And I was like, hey, and I was only 49 at the time, and most people that have prostate situations like in the 60s, 70s, like that. So I was young having it. Yeah. So once I got diagnosed with that, man, that stuff got real to me. And I said, I just want to share that with anybody that's even going through that now. Get checked out. And I went. I was getting checked out anyway. Every year I would get a physical. So I was like, hey, you should check me for this, because my friend told me maybe I'm going to have something wrong with my prostate. You know what I mean? Come find out I had prostate cancer.
Oh, man.
And then I had to go I did the radiation treatment, and it's so many phases to it. You got to find out if you got it. They do all these biopsies and all that stuff. Then you got to wait 2 weeks. You got to tell the doctor what you want to do. Do you want to do radiation? That's another 2 weeks. Then you got another 2 weeks. Next thing you know, 2 months went by, and you ain't even really got nothing started. Then when you do get it started, they give me the shot. It kills your testosterone, y'all. That means the bedroom life is gone. You
ED,
ED. The bedroom life is gone. They give you this shot, and it's supposed to be testosterone is like fire. It's like gasoline to a fire.
Exactly.
The cancer is the fire. If you put some testosterone on that, you're gonna spread that cancer. So they had to kill that. But I had to go a whole summer not knowing if I'm gonna live or not. Going out here entertaining every day, on the weekends every day entertaining. And not going and still teaching people. Once you come to the conference, if you want to hire me as your consultant, then I'm your consultant. So now I'm meeting with people once a month, going over their goals, making sure they staying on focus on the target. I'm helping all these people. They making all this money, and then I'm in this dilemma right now. And the shot didn't make it any better because without your testosterone,
it was fucking with your energy and all
that.
You
didn't have no energy.
energy.
There you just got a bunch of hormones. One day I was looking at the YouTube channel and I just start crying. I said, "Why am I crying?"
Did it increase your estrogen? Did it increase your estrogen levels?
It don't increase it. I don't think it increase it, but you have it. You have testosterone and you have that.
Estrogen,
right?
yeah.
But without the testosterone, I was just walking with that.
Just estrogen, yeah.
I was just walking with that. So now I'm sensitive. I'm like crying. I'm like, what in the world? So yeah, this is just a journey that I had to go through, but. Go ahead.
With you, like Sidney, you said you doing consulting, so you're working with people with their plans, and you're looking at people with like long-term plans.
Yep.
And does it ever cross your mind, I'm helping you to do something long-term, and I don't even know if I'm going to be here to watch this.
All that was going on at that time. All that was going. Not even more than that, just how much joy I help people have by playing music. When I'm not joyful, the world of an entertainer is so tricky. You're an entertainer. And I entertain every day, y'all. I do 2 to 4 every day. So no matter how I feel, when I walk across that door, I have to be bubbly. I have to, yo. I just did a wedding 2 months ago. I was sick as a dog, yo. I was popping pills, and I was sick. I mean, really, really bad sick.
Are you still going through treatments now?
No, I'm finished my treatment. I had 18 months for treatment. Yeah, it was crazy.
What did that do to your faith?
I felt good because I felt like, okay, I felt stronger in the Lord. I felt stronger in the Lord because He got me through something that I didn't think I had the willpower mentally or physically to get through.
Well, I mean, as you were going through it, what did it do to your faith?
I just had with me and God, everybody had their own relationship with God. I seen God do too many good things for me. And once I knew I can get treated and all that, I just felt like if I'm going to go, I'm going out swinging. I'm going to tell everybody about it. I'm going to go out here. I just felt like at the time I did so much. People, everybody in this room can say this. All of y'all have helped so many people throughout the year. Even this podcast is very helpful.
Appreciate
entertainment
that,
wise. I mean, you have people. Listen. Once I seen that Ron Do episode, I told him I did a marathon with that all night long. I listened to like 6 interviews back to back. You know how long y'all interviews are.
Yeah.
Back to back.
This one is almost at 3 hours.
Next thing you know,
That's the longest one.
It said my clock said 4:30. I said, "Oh my God, it's 4:30." I couldn't believe it's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm still watching this. I had to make myself go to bed. But the point I'm trying to make is, we all help people. And I just felt like, I did a lot of helping people. I served my purpose. If this the way I got to go out, this the way I'll go. I just felt like I did a lot.
That's what's up.
Of course, I want to do more. Of course, I want to do more.
Yeah.
I think the intimacy part, that's what bothered me the most. I'm not feeling
probably with any that would bother any man the most.
I told my wife I don't even feel like a man. Like when you a young man, no, I'm no disrespect. I'm not trying to. You can bleep this out to the women, but a man has an erection. As far as I can remember, I had an erection. As a little kid, I remember getting an erection. Then all of a sudden, I can't have an erection. I'm 50 years old, 49 years old, and can't have an erection.
Did you try Viagra or anything like that at the time?
Well, after the fact.
Because they got all kinds of stuff out now. My advertisement is full with all. They got all kinds of stuff out now.
I don't know if my wife want me to tell this story, but okay, after I got treated, and it's supposed to be, I was getting to the point where everything is start to go work back on its own, you know. So, and things still wasn't, things wasn't cooperating, you know what I mean? So I told the doctor, he put me on some Viagra, that joint, boy.
You went from not being able to go to being able to go too much.
He warned me. He said, your back, it might make your back hurt. I said, my back hurt. What the world? Man, I took one of them pills, man. My back, I was like, what the? It make you don't even want to,
For real?
Yeah, it's side effects.
Oh, wow.
Everybody has every medicine has a side effect.
Yeah, because I never took a Viagra before. I never, yeah.
But I only did it like one time, maybe twice, baby. I naturally went back into my normal self.
Oh,
after
yeah.
that.
Round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna clap too. Yeah.
And then go ahead. I want to say this too. I want to make sure I say this too. I was celibate for a long time before I got married.
Ooh.
I'm talking about years, like
because
over
of,
15
because of your faith.
Because of my
You said
faith.
over 15 years?
Yeah, over that.
Whoa.
And I had sex, so
15
strong,
years.
bro.
I'm finally getting into my swing, and now this hits me.
Yeah.
What in the world? Just now got married. I felt like, I got married in 2013, so this was in 2019. So 6 years went by. So listen, when you ain't had in that long a period of time, 6 years ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just like start over
This
again,
might sound a little personal, but during that time, because they got this thing out now where they say in order to prevent prostate cancer or anything like that, then the man should ejaculate at least 21 times a month.
I read that.
You've seen
I
that?
didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that at the
so
time.
you think that you
I'm at
being
about
celibate?
75.
You think you being celibate might have contributed to that?
Way. That could have.
I'm at about 75.
Man, look at the doc, look at the doc, boy. Hey, you need to quit. You say you trying to leave your job. God trying to make you be a doctor, man.
Oh no.
That could be true.
No,
That
I'm trying to make this my
Direction
primary.
doctor.
Yeah, I'm trying to make this media thing my primary thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That could have contributed to,
Just think about that when you think about that.
They call it backed up. They call it.
Yeah.
It was backed up, man.
That's what made me think about that when you said you were celibate for that long.
I never thought of that.
Was it because you wasn't taking care of like nothing like that?
Nope.
Whew,
I never experienced that ever.
You a strong brother.
When I was younger, to be honest, when I got saved, I was in a detox. I was detoxing when I got saved, man. It took me that many years to detox. I had been, for a long time at an early age.
Over 15
I've been popular.
years. Yo,
I've been
that's
popular
crazy.
at a very, very young age.
Yeah, very young. You was
People, I had young girls
Right.
that like me that was in high school, and I was still in middle school, and vice versa.
That was a
High school
thing
time.
back then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That was a thing back then.
And I don't know why they like me for it, but I wasn't gonna turn them up with my college.
I appreciate it.
Man, when I was in probably
Hold on, y'all.
18.
Hey, Dave, I'm on the pod right now. What's good?
Can't believe you did this again.
Huh?
What's up,
Kashane
Dave?
in here. He did a Kashane in here.
Hold on.
Right. I'm telling Shane.
Hold on.
What? I
Why they kicking it on me?
Oh yeah. Go do your thing. Yeah. Do your thing. What's up? What's good?
I was calling to see if y'all wanted to join us Saturday for the lights in Ocean City.
I'm going to a wedding Saturday,
God.
and I think Ruthie working. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. But I'll hit you back in a little bit. We almost done.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna tell Shane on you.
Oh no! I got it. I'm handling it right now.
We had a
right
break.
there.
We had a break anyway, so it didn't matter.
No. We had a break
We had
because
a break
of that.
anyway. It didn't matter. Yeah, we had a break anyway.
We broke because Dave called about the light show in Ocean City.
You forgot. I can.
You can what?
I can cut it.
Hell, but it's in the group chat now.
We don't cut that.
It's in the group chat. He can't say nothing about nothing that happens when he ain't here. He can't say, "You good? You straight? You straight? Did you ain't paint the wall? Did you?
I paid, man.
You might be a little strong.
You got women on I got enough fertilizer for you for the next summer.
You might still have some residual leftovers from the 15 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, stop, man.
But yeah.
It is a side effect. I want to tell y'all, those out there, go ahead and get checked out because that's serious, man. You have to use the bathroom, and I am healed. I'm healed. I'm cancer free. I've been 5 years now healed. I just went to the doctor like a month ago, and in Seaford, and I'm cancer free. And I thank God for that.
I left one of my locations today in Dover, and I was inspected, and I didn't use the bathroom when I was there. Got back in the van, was driving down the road on 13. Get down there, it hit me hard. I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, man, let me find somewhere to use the bathroom at. I go in Dunkin' Donuts. these niggas. I mean, Duncan, they had a lock on the daggone bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about customers only. I was like,
Yeah.
man, if y'all don't give me that code, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go around the back. I'm gonna just go around the back and bless y'all trash can back there. Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna go around the back and bless y'all trash can back there. You know what I mean? That's what I did because you know what I mean. I ain't had time, but yeah. But
I got a question.
make sure y'all get checked,
and
man.
then we can.
make y'all get checked. Yeah, we gotta get ready to wrap up.
Yeah,
All
you're
right,
gonna start to wrap up. But I got a question for you. I know with a lot of people, you know, when they get saved, the perception of a lot of other people is that everything changes for you, right? But the fact of the matter is everything doesn't change. And like a lot of the things that people think changes is the urges that you have, right? I want to talk about the struggles with flesh that you still have.
All right, so it's only I don't have no struggles with that. Fornication on that.
Well, not
Man,
necessarily
man went
fornication.
if he can go
but just-
15 years, believe me, he's strong.
But I'm not talking about just fornication. Like,
I'm gonna get
do
to-
you still
I'm
have
gonna
like an
get
urge
to-
to listen to music that you
I'm
still
gonna get
listen
to. I'm gonna get to what my
you know.
issue was. So I did have one of my issues was when I wasn't in church was I had a revengeful spirit because I'm an entertainer and I have a lot of friends who want to protect me. You good? You know, like
Right.
everywhere I go, you good? Again, I started out with the hustlers. The
Right.
hustlers is my friends. Every town I go to.
Right.
So now every town I go to, if I'm in Denton, the hustlers got my back. You know, you good, Randy? You all right? You good? So I got all this protection all around me. So now if somebody mess with me, I can hit that button, you know what I'm saying? So I dealt with a lot of revenge because I'm Randy P. I can't just be out here fighting nobody or nothing like that. Like, that's going to mess up my business.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to know that's going to mess up my business, right? And I can't, it's going to hurt me from going to Graysonville or help me to Chestertown if I'm getting in fights with people or letting something happen, you know what I mean?
Right.
So now I'm building up all this, you know, if somebody do something to me, I'm building it up inside. After I got to church, I started to realize I had a spirit of revenge. And I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes that rises up in me because I don't want everybody, you know, everybody fights differently. Let me say it like this. People are always scared of the person. It's always somebody in your neighborhood that everybody's scared of. But I tell people, that ain't who you need to be scared. You need to be scared of that quiet person. The person that knows.
facts.
Matter of fact,
Facts.
every time there's a major thing,
Facts.
they be like, man, we never even knew that guy was like that. That guy, you know, some guy that went up and killed,
Yeah.
you know, did
Yeah,
it.
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
what the- he was a
Yeah.
shy
Yeah.
guy. We don't even know nothing about
Yeah.
it. That was me. That
Okay.
was me, a person who think in my mind. You know, I call it imaginations. You know, like I have imagination. Yeah, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. You know what I mean? So throughout my years as a Christian, I battled with that a lot of times. And even something recently happened. I'm not gonna say what happened, but I battled with it. And God had to give me a word. He had never gave me a word like this ever before. You know, God is always talking to us. He was talking to me so strong. He told me to read this scripture. I start reading the scripture over and over again. As I'm reading the scripture, it was as somebody just shook me. You know how you take your kid? Well, not no. You know how they used to take your kid?
I did. Yeah, I did. I'm admitting it. I did.
Felt like that physically. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? Like God just shook me. Like, dude, don't go down that path. Like you're setting yourself up. So, you know, I battle with that, but I have ways of battling with it. But in that instance, God gave me a word. As I was reading the word, he let me know this is what is going to happen. I mean, this is what I'm giving you to do. And ever since that day, I've been having a peaceful spirit, you know, because the devil was trying to make me go back to my old self and do that one last thing that he used. Everything else I beat. But that one thing that I battled with was the spirit of revenge. And I do talk about that openly to people because everybody has something. And they look at me like, you will never be like that. Yeah. Like people, you know, people say, listen, 99% people say about me is positive. Most of the time, I don't never hear nobody. But that one person that say something bad about me, it bothers me. Like, what? You know, and every now, if it's right, if they're right, I'll be like, yeah, that's right. And I apologize. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But
I slept with this girl. Yeah, my bad.
but, you know, but if it's something that it ain't wanted, you know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you one time how God tested me one day. One day I was at my job, and I ain't gonna say who the people were, and someone was talking about me, and this person was a new hire, and they was talking about me towards people who already work in the company, and I accidentally heard it, right? And I said, ooh, and it just bothered me. And all night long, I said, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Like I already had a plan and everything. When I got to the parking lot,
Hold on. What's your definition of get him?
I'm definitely gonna do something to make him get fired. I'm gonna say it like that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. About that with me, I can't speak for everybody.
You was gonna do some Karen stuff?
I can't speak for everybody. But every time God give you a gift, the devil try to give you something to counter it.
Right.
So my gift is really that I'm supposed to pray for people. That's really what my gift is. I'm supposed to intercede. As y'all can see, my whole life, I'm the middle person. I'm the person that everybody can touch. God put it that way so I can pray for people and be there to minister to them. People receive it coming from me because I'm just Randy P to them. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody that you can't reach. Everybody can reach. So I understand my role. But in that moment, I was really, really upset, right? So I said, I'm going to, I felt something, right? So check this out. When I went to work, when I got to the parking lot, God said, don't you do it. Don't you do it. I said, oh, my God. So when I went into work that day, I went into work. The woman called me up. She said, come here, I want to talk to you. The woman gave me a card. It had $10 in it. Now, just said if I had revenge, this woman really didn't know me. That's why I was mad. Like, you don't know me. Why is you talking? They ain't even going to believe what you saying because they know me. You don't know me. They know you. But I was just mad that she was trying to discredit my thing. And again, I'm working in a place that I not necessarily want to work anyway. I'm only doing this because I'm in church. I'm trying to find my way back in the music business again. I don't want to be here even anyway. Not that I didn't like the job. It's just I see myself in a different place.
Purpose.
Yeah, in a different place.
Yeah.
So that's the part of the anger too. Like, I don't even want to be here, and you talking negative, you messing up my chances or whatever to even work here. And I was just so upset, and I was gonna, but God said, "Don't you do it." I walked in there. That woman gave me a card with $10 in it. That means God had already touched her heart. She already went to the store, got the card. She already put the $10 in it. God was just waiting for me.
Wow.
If I walked in there acting crazy, I would never receive my blessing. That was a test.
That would have been the first.
And what happened to me today, and what happened to me this month, it didn't happen to me, but something happened to somebody around me, and I was really mad about it. And if I didn't handle it, if I didn't go to God with it and ask Him to help me with this situation, I'd have did something crazy. Y'all might not have been here. That's how angry I was off of this situation. Wow. That I might not even been here right now. And I'm a person. I'm calculated. I think about myself. I want to be in. I don't want to be in jail. I want to be here.
Exactly.
What they call it, free or what. I want to be out in the outside. I don't want to be inside. But I was just so mad, and it's just a test. So it is things that still I struggle. Well, that's the only real thing that I really struggle with. And but I learned how to deal with it by just going to God, being open. God, listen, I had a dream last night about somebody that I haven't seen in a while, but somebody very important. And I was like, why was this person in my dream? And soon I got up, I just started praying for the guy. I said, what's going on with him? I haven't talked to him. What's going on? Show me, what was that you were showing me, God? And instead of me thinking of the negative, I know God want me to intercede and pray for the people. Matter of fact, that's what I do in church. Yeah. I'm the person when you come to the altar, that's what I do in church now.
Oh, wow.
When people come to the altar. And we got like 16,000 people go to our church, so it's like.
What church are you attending right now?
I go to Union Church. Big shout out to Union Church. I go to the campus in Glen Burnie, but I live in Baltimore County, so we have one in Baltimore County too.
Okay,
it's like 5 minutes from my house. So
did you say 16,000?
Yes, but we have several campuses. We got a campus in PG County, Virginia.
There's some mega churches out there in the city, man. There's some real mega churches out there in the city. Look like football stadiums in there.
It's a good seat. It's a good seat. It's a good church. We do like 4 services on Sunday. It's like that.
Wow.
And but when people come to the altar, I pray for them.
During football?
Yeah, I guess I ain't going there.
Yeah, 145. 145. I go when I serve when I know my team plays. I'm Washington. Big shout out to the Command.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
How come
sir.
you're not praying for us? Because I feel like if you
for
were
real,
praying,
pray for us.
yes.
Pray for us right now, man. Pray for us. Sheesh.
Sometimes
Pray for us
y'all
right
be
now,
like, yo, man, you praying that again?
Bring the
Come on,
whole
man.
team to the church. Matter of fact,
Right.
Bring the whole team into the
But see,
congregation.
Matter of fact, just skip the games and go to church.
Yeah.
But you know, that was what happened last year. Was all those prayers we did for them years before, and see what
They
happened
just
last
build
year.
up, yeah. Well,
so
we need to
sometimes,
start
you know,
that
we gotta
prayer circle up
stack
again.
it up a little bit.
Man,
Oh, so what happened was all the prayers
That was
worked for
stack-
last season, and then we stopped praying because we thought it worked.
Yeah, that's what happened. Now we gotta get back praying again, man.
Yeah, I gotta wait 50 more years.
Right.
I love that you asked me that question because I'm the positive one, and I do try to be as positive as I can. People do think that maybe I'm even when I wasn't in church, people thought I was like a goody two shoe or whatever. But I was out there great, not doing right neither. You know what I mean? But again, I had good friends around me that kept me grounded and was there for me. Like I said earlier, big shout out to my brother Brian Jones. Big shout out to Brian and my sister Teresa. They always been there for me, no matter who. They always been there.
That's what's up, man.
My whole music career, and of course, big shout out to Emory. And let's get back to the tape. Can I before we leave?
Yeah. Let's get to the tape. Yeah.
So I want to make sure we talk about this mixtape because it's very important to me. It's the first tape I put out, physical cassette tape I put out to the masses for sale in 30 years. So I just thank God for the opportunity to be able to do that. I use all local talent from Philly, DC, Baltimore. I had 3 people from the Eastern Shore. Had a guy from the Caribbean, though. That's the only one outside from the Caribbean. They all give me permission. I could use their tracks on the Mix TV. It was well received. We sold out in 3 hours.
I know. I was trying to get one when I seen you at the Culture Fest, and you had it. I was trying to see one when you get in the Culture Fest, but I didn't get one.
Yep, I sold out.
Tell them the mind-blowing part about the mixtapes. What came with it?
Oh yeah, so
get the boombox with it, right?
You know what? Yeah.
Oh no, that one when it came with the boombox.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on, I think we got some gifts, man. I think we got some gifts, cuz buddy. I think we got some gifts.
What you doing next week?
The blessings.
What you doing next week?
Man,
The blessings.
I about this, man.
Yeah.
First of all,
Got some
I
blessings
want to
for us,
encourage
man.
you to think big and plan bigger.
That's what's up,
nice.
man.
I like
That's
this.
what's up. Y'all see this here? Y'all see this here?
Yes, sir.
Any guests that come on in from now on, if y'all ain't got no if y'all ain't got
You get 20
exactly, yeah.
That's all you get.
Yo, you okay
see that?
if I carry guns in this bag?
Come on, man.
If you license.
Hey, I'm an instructor.
Well, give me another bag because I got more than one.
Yeah, put it. Yeah, all these cameras on you right now.
Official
Hold on,
mixtape.
there you go, right there. It ain't gonna focus on it right now.
They got the old mixtape.
Oh my God, look at that! Look at
wow.
that! Let me see that. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see it. Let me see it.
Here we go.
Yeah, let me see
Hey,
that.
you gonna
Let me
sign
see
it?
that.
It's official.
Let me see that.
signing
We
it,
need
right?
we need a signature on
Oh,
there.
wow.
We need a signature on there.
Yeah, I need your
We
autograph,
need a
B.
signature on there.
Keep that here, and I also got something for you.
Oh my God! Look, I got a Randy Pizza. Hey. Y'all ain't got one of these.
Huh? If you ain't got something, I got.
Oh, what's that right there?
Got a Walkman.
A Walkman.
Oh, man, get out of here, yo.
He brought the
Man.
80s to us.
Hey.
Stop playing, bro.
Also, we got cameras everywhere.
Oh, that's dope, man.
I have a prayer book. So when your guests come, anybody want to have a prayer request?
Oh yeah, put that on the table. We're gonna keep that one right on the table.
Yes, sir.
Dope. I
Man.
like
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna keep that right on the table, man.
But all we're gonna do, I'm just letting the people know, we're gonna keep it private. No one's gonna share your information, but they're gonna.
You gotta get on the mic, brother. You gotta get on the mic, brother. Because none of this audio, all this audio gotta come through the mic.
Right.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give y'all a prayer book. This is a blank book. It's a blank notebook. Anytime you have a guest come on, if they want to sign it to say they was on your show, or if they want to leave a prayer, I want them to leave the prayer here. We're not going to disclose whatever you want us to pray for, but they will take a screenshot and send it to me. So anytime anybody come on the guest, including the host, you got a prayer request, put it in this book, and then they take a screenshot, send it to me so we can call in heaven.
It's powerful.
For you. So I want to make sure y'all had that.
I'm reading all of y'all
appreciate
prayers. I don't
this.
care. I'm gonna read all of I'm reading everything y'all want me to pray for. Just letting y'all know.
Yeah.
Man, shout out, man. Hold on, man. Round of applause, man.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell you how Randy P has just messed it up for all the other guests. Don't come up here with no gifts
Yeah,
now.
don't come up with no gifts.
You got
no
20
gifts
minutes.
Brother got me.
20.
I got a Walkman. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna rock the E.
Yeah.
Y'all want a copy of this tape? I'll send it to y'all digitally. You know,
Yeah, we
y'all
go.
can stream it. Y'all can stream it from me.
So the tapes we're selling for $50, the original tape. So let me let y'all know about this. You have the second edition. The first edition, that's the collectors. That was 90 minutes long. That's the collector. So whoever bought the tape within that 2 weeks that I was selling, that one weekend I sold the tape. And I had like a couple that I left at home and I dubbed up for some other people. And so I was able to sell all those. That's the first collector. That's the tape. I never put out a tape in 30 years. But that tape is special too because this is a 60-minute tape. The other one was 90 and this is 60. And I'm not going to drop that on tape no more. Only the 60-minute, and that's it.
Where do you even find cassette tapes
I had
anymore?
an order.
Is it Maxell or TDK?
It's not a
Which one is it?
Maxwell. It's a new joint. I ain't never heard of it before.
TDK.
It's a Maxwell. That's a Maxwell.
It's a Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Maxwell used to have Maxwell written on there.
It's Maxell.
Maxell.
Yeah,
Maxell.
Maxell.
Get that right.
Maxell.
Yeah. So,
Did you have to get into a time machine to find that?
No, man. But I tell you what, it did remind me of those heartache and pains of actually dubbing tapes. Like you had to, and I didn't have a duplicator, so I had to make each tape.
Oh
each
man!
tape,
So
each
you went
tape,
from
each-
scratch again.
Yeah, it was the same master, but I had to.
That's what make it even more. That's what it make it even more personal.
man.
Yeah.
You had to
That's
press
taking it
record
more
and play at the same
took
time.
all July, I was making tapes all July. Everywhere I go, if I'm sitting down somewhere, I start making a tape. And it was a long process.
This says DJ Randy P number 150 on here. Is that
So that's
150 different mixtapes?
Yeah. So
Oh, man.
let me make sure.
Christ,
I want
Jesus
people to
Christ.
understand this.
150 mixtapes.
Even though I stopped at 127, and I made that 150 for a reason. I stopped at 127. But what I need y'all to understand is from 89 until 95. I started back over. When I started DJing at the Black Hole, when I made up my mind that I'm going to start doing different kinds of tapes, I started back over. So I went up to 49, and then I started back over to 1, and then I'm making tapes every month, A, B, C, D. So every time I put a tape out, every month I have 4 tapes I put out. With the same number, but it's an A, B, C, and D. And another thing I want to say about that too is that when I was younger, I was like I said, I had all hustlers was my customers. I used to have the little receipt book. I just knew I was gonna be in the business, right? No one told me I was business though. No one told me. I used to have a little receipt book. So I said, if you buy 5 tapes from me, I'll give you the 6th one free. Now, I'm just a shorty, not thinking I got juice. But I know I ain't got no juice, to be honest. Let's keep it 100.
Right.
Well, I got juice, but I don't know it, right? So then people start getting me. They were like, yo, man, this is my 5th tape, man. I get a free one, right? And so they older than me, and they in the streets, and I ain't trying to rub for no feathers, you know what I'm saying? So I like, let them get them. And then I go home and look at my receipt book. I be like, man, that's just his 3rd tape. So I said, you know what? I got something for that. So every 2.5 months, I would put out a free tape to everybody. Mm-hmm. That's what sparked me to do the live tapes. Because I figure, hey, I'm DJing the party anyway. I know who to shout out and everything. So I'm going to just shout out people's names who ain't even here and have it on my tape. You know, that's back in the days when you had to be perfect when you DJ. You can't be messing up.
Yeah, you can't be messing up.
You
messed up. You messed the whole vibe
I know I'm
up.
taping. I got to make it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that kind of helped me with my crap. But that's how I was able to sell so many tapes and so many different volumes because I actually was putting out 4 tapes every month. And not only that, you know, I was very consistent. And I just got a lot of money from it.
Is that Shane bag on the ground right there? Pick that up, man.
be.
Yeah. There's one on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Is that for our guy
Shane,
right
this
there?
your-
Yeah,
yeah,
we got
this
it.
is here.
You can leave it right in that chair.
Yeah.
Yep. Shane,
Yeah,
it's your bag, bro.
Yeah, you can leave it right on that chair or whatever. Yeah.
And the concept on that is I felt like everybody's coming to me, they thinking big, but they don't understand what's the bigger plan. See, I study people like Warren Buffett and Mark Cuban and Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
These are people I study. And I noticed that they all give back to their community, like in a major way, like Shaq. Like they always giving back. So I said, you know, people thinking big, but I'm going to show them how to think bigger.
Exactly.
So that's how I came up with the concept. think big, plan bigger. The bigger plan is how you gonna get back to your community.
Sir.
And matter of fact, I give a lot to all different kind of organizations. I don't always.
That's what's up.
I'm not always vital in all the like in my own community, Cambridge. I haven't lived in Cambridge since 1990. So
Man, I didn't even know you've been going that long.
Yeah,
for
so
real.
like,
I mean, but we always seen you.
yeah.
You was always in grooves. So
I worked in Cambridge. When I got the job, I ended up working back in Cambridge. But I was so out of touch with the real world. I would just go to work and go back to church. I was going to church in Salisbury at the time, so I didn't really hang around Cambridge. It's just been these last like 4 or 5 years that I've been like in the community trying to figure out how can I help in the community.
Exactly.
I feel like my gift of helping is helping people with business. You know, I can't, if you on the street and stuff, I really don't know much about that really. I was able to navigate that when I was out there. I was navigated through that. But I don't know what the streets is now. That's not my lane. I'm way out of touch on that. So I don't really, I leave that up to, you know, like that's why I give a big shout out to my main man, Ill Kid, because he's boots on the ground. He knows everything that's going on. You know, I support Ill Kid because that's what he do.
yeah,
That's not my lane.
I just seen him at the. They did a trunk or treat on Halloween.
Oh, man,
and
he's
he
vital
told,
in the community.
He told me sending some dates so he can come up here. He was supposed to come up here a year ago or so ago, but
Yeah, you need to get
He
Ill
told me
Kid
send
up
him some
here.
dates. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause, you know,
he got a serious story. I call him the comeback kid. That dude, yo, you need to get Ill Kid
yeah,
up here.
he
He's
definitely
like,
went through some stuff.
yeah,
but you know what I mean?
he listen always.
He's just waiting
bounce
for
back.
some dates. Yeah, he's just waiting for some dates.
No matter what he go through, you got to give it to him. He bounces back
Yeah.
in a major
And
way.
I like he get ready to do a turkey drive
Yeah,
too.
ready to
You know
do
what
a
I mean?
turkey
By the
drive.
time this come out,
Yeah,
it might
yeah,
already
turkey,
be
yeah.
That's
that
what's up,
happened.
too.
But he get ready to do a turkey drive. And
Definitely
everything
big
like
shout
that.
out to Ill Kid.
Yeah.
Big shout out to all the DJs that rock with me. He used to rock with me too, but he was like our youngest one, Ill Kid. When I just about the time I was.
I remember having one of Ill Kid first
yeah,
tapes
yeah.
back in the day in school, in middle school.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I mean?
definitely took over the mixtape after I left.
Yeah.
He took it over and made it some. I told him that. I told him the other day, I like, man, where my mixtape back? Like, cause when he get on the mic, man, it's just him getting on the mic. I really enjoy that. But yeah, appreciate y'all having me on the show.
No doubt,
Just
man.
wanna
No
leave some
doubt,
gifts
man.
for
Another
y'all.
round of applause, man. Shout out,
We
shout
thank
out,
you, man. We thank
to
you
the
for
legend,
being on
man.
the
We
show.
appreciate you, man.
And we thank you for everything you're doing in the community, man, all the lives that you're touching. You know,
appreciate
everything
that,
that you're doing, man, just the way that God is working through you and the way that you are allowing him to just shine through you. And yeah, man.
Especially when you done gave so much already. I feel like you done brought so much joy, so much, even with the parties and even with what you're doing now, you done gave so much to the community already with just your impact. And that's why we call you a legend.
Yeah.
We don't just throw that out there just to be throwing it out there. We call you that
appreciate
because
that.
that's what the impact that you left on
Right.
the community, on the people, on people's lives, and what you're still doing the work now. You know what I mean? Even though you would face trials and tribulations yourself, you were still able to give so much of yourself to the world.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we appreciate that.
And whether you know it or not, you probably have saved a bunch of lives. And even going back to when you were DJing, man, because there are people that were at the parties that could have been doing something else.
Yeah,
They
that's
could have ended up losing their
That's
lives.
You
true.
remember the song?
So
Let's not DJ say oh man.
Well, you digging in the crate.
Oh man. That guy right there, yeah. That guy.
I do
That
wanna
guy
say this.
always got a good he always got something for it.
I did want to say this too. I'm glad you said it because it made me think of something. When I was younger, I didn't have a physical contract. I didn't have a written paper contract, but I did have a verbal contract. And I used to say, hey, if people get to fighting, I'm leaving. And like people wouldn't
And
fight.
he was not playing.
They ain't want the party to be over.
He was not playing.
I
though.
hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it going to parties and somebody fighting the party
Yeah,
is
I would
over.
shut it down.
It's always the good ones too.
I definitely had
Always
parties I
the good ones,
DJ'd.
huh?
I
Right.
definitely
Always the
had
good
parties I
ones,
DJ'd
yeah.
where they waited until I left to have a fight.
Yeah.
Because they said, we're not going to fight when Randy P here because he's going to shut the party down.
For real.
That's true.
That's
and sometimes I'll be like...
and that's respect.
And
It's a lot of respect.
And I want to say something else too that a lot of people don't know when it's come to entertainment and when you become popular. A lot of pressure is on you when you become popular. Now I became popular at an early age. Now you see me DJing, and y'all never see me DJ, but the people who see me DJ.
I've seen you DJ.
was-
Not lately.
A lot of
yeah.
times,
What are you talking about?
a lot of times I was under distress because I know if I'm playing in Easton, I know that Cambridge gonna come there. I know Graysonville gonna come there. I know Fellersburg gonna. I know Denton gonna be there. I know Easton gonna be there. And these towns don't get along.
And then
but
think
they're
about
gonna
it.
come because Randy P is there. That's pressure, yo.
Yeah.
Think about it like this too. Like people wilding now, but back then though, it wasn't a whole bunch of too much gun you know what I mean?
If it went down, it went down. But but my job was to not make it go down.
Yeah.
My job was to keep everybody dancing, keep everybody having a good time. And I take more pride off of that than anything because I don't have a lot of times when people fight. When you think of all the times I DJ every weekend. I used to play like 2 to 4 times every weekend, from Friday to Sunday. And sometimes on Saturday I would play 3 times. I used to do it after a late night club at 2:00 in the morning. So I would then play 2 places, then go 2:00 in the morning to another place to play in the morning, late at night.
Sounds like sidetracks.
So I pretty much DJ all day.
What's up with sidetracks, man?
At the after party.
Yeah, we was. I can't even think of it. It was called the clubhouse. It was called the clubhouse on the highway.
Oh.
But I had to play through all that, and I know. And listen, you know who they are when they come through. I know who's the guys that ain't, that's got something in there. I know who they are. As soon as I see them coming in, I'm supposed to be DJing. I'm like, oh my God. So then I got to get my game on. I got to go on the mic. I got to talk to the girls. Because I don't want nobody fighting, you know what I mean? And that worked out in my favor. It ended up making me a better entertainer. And now that's kind of how I got to where I'm now, where I get to do 2 to 4 gigs every day. It's like, I done did it all my life, But that's why I'd like to give big shout out to the Asia Shore. But I just want to know that people know, yes, I've made it to a certain level through Christ because God's been with me all along. But I had my times too, when I struggle, like, DJing under pressure like that ain't an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
you know
facts,
what I mean?
facts.
And I was just a kid, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a struggle talking on these microphones sometimes. I mean, it's easy to do, but it's once you get the backlash sometimes, like we done got some backlash.
We don't care about none of that.
on a few things.
you
I ain't care about
They just don't know that. We gotta make them think that we care.
Man, they had like 50 comments just on how I pronounce kindergarten.
oh, that's nitpicking now.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was funny though. I laughed
get
at
it,
all
though.
of it. Yo. I laughed at all.
Because
of
it is kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? I get it for real.
People act like they pronounce everything. They're slang. That's just how I talk.
You
know
keep
what I mean?
saying it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
That's just how I always said it, and I'm always keep saying it like that. I don't care about how
when you go get back?
Anyway, well, we gotta get out of here, man. We gotta get out of here, man. Do all that stuff they tell y'all to do, man. Man, shout out to Randy P again, man. Go get that mixtape.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Shout him out. Go check out his seminar if you want to learn about business. Shout out your socials before we go.
All right, so social Instagram DJ Randy P. Instagram DJ Randy P. On Facebook, I'm Randolph Powder. I'm more likely to see the Facebook than I do the Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
I do a lot of driving, so I don't be one.
Randolph.
Randolph Powder.
Randolph.
I think it's like the positive one or something is my acronym or something like that.
That's how you got. You got to sit up when you say Randolph.
Now, I'm sitting up because I've been swinging my feet all this
look,
time, man.
DJ Randy P like
They got
this.
these high cheers up in
DJ
here.
Randy P. Randolph.
Man, shoot, my legs is hurting right now, man. They got me up in a high chair, y'all.
Plan Bigger Network, man. Check that out if you want to learn about business. If you want to, if you want to learn history, if you want to learn anything, if you want to learn how to DJ, he'll still teach you that too, man. You know what I mean?
You got a website?
If you just need the word, if you just need prayer, you know what I mean? Look him up, man. He's a man of many talents and many hats, and he spreads so much joy and so much good around the world, man. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. You know what I mean? Go ahead, plug the website.
Website Revive Sound Productions.
All right.
Revive Sound Productions.
All right.
We'll put it in the link, y'all.
That's .com.
.com.
Okay. All right.
ReviveSoundProduction.com.
All right, man.
Okay.
Do all that stuff they tell y'all to do. Know what it is. Like, comment, subscribe, man.
Absolutely.
Subscribe. You know what I mean?
Groove City.
Talk bad about us.
And keep making fun of kindergarten. Keep making fun of kindergarten.
This probably has been the most Cambridge and Groove City been shout out on this daggone podcast. But yeah, keep shouting
Groove
out.
City, man.
Yeah.
They help make me.
Shout out to Groove City.
All right,
Shout out to
man.
Groove City.
I had a lot of fun down there too. I wanted to DJ though.
Fire
Fire shots along.
Yo, we definitely gotta take a picture.
I've been all day like, what can I tell?
And then you told us everything.
Yeah, everything.